Chapter 1252. It treats me really well. He's more than 10 years older than me, and he's been widowed for more than 2 years. He also has a 6-year-old boy living with his grandmother. Although he's not very rich, and he takes on some small projects every year, it's not too bad. I think I'm doing really well right now. Hui Yin carefully recalled. Once, when she went to a bar to get drunk, she was almost taken away by a few hooligans. It was this person who saved her in the nick of time. He even opened a hotel for her and gave her some money. Hui Yin hadn't felt this kind of warmth in a long time, especially when she was at her lowest point in life. Therefore, she treated this feeling as love, or perhaps it was the last straw that saved her from the whole family. That's good. Actually, as long as you can live a normal life, it's also a form of happiness, Huomin slowly said as he looked at her. Huomin thought that it was good that Hui Yin got over it. Otherwise, with her current status, even if she married into a rich family, she would still be treated coldly. Plus, her husband might not even be faithful. She might as well find a normal family to live with. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I just hope that I can forget about the past and start afresh. Hui Yin said, word for word. Huomin took out her wallet from her bag. She didn't carry a lot of cash with her every day. She only had around 3,000 to 5,000. She estimated that she probably had less than 4,000 on hand right now. Therefore, she took out 3,000 yuan and handed it to Hui Yin. Take it. No, I don't want it. Hui Yin obviously didn't want to take it. Take it, it's a gift. Congratulations on your wedding. After speaking, before Hui Yin could say anything, Huomin stuffed the money into her hands. Hui Yin's emotions were complicated, and tears seemed to be glistening in her eyes. She never thought that there would be a day when she would get married. On such an important day, her parents and brother weren't by her side. Only Huomin, her former enemy, was by her side. This was the biggest irony in life. Huomin, thank you for forgiving me. I'm not as magnanimous as you are, and I'm not as broad-minded as you are, so I'm destined to never get the happiness that you got. But I still have to thank you. You taught me a lot. Maybe it's not the worst thing that happened to me, but it's the most unforgettable experience. I feel that you're still able to treat me so calmly, even though I treated you so badly back then. I have to say, that's not something an ordinary person can do. If you were a man, you would have achieved great things. Huomin smiled. But I'm a woman, so there are so many people who like you, and there are also so many people who want to protect you. Hui Yin seemed to know something. She looked at Huomin with a complicated gaze. Yin, is this your friend? The groom walked out and put his arm around Hui Yin's shoulder. Huomin could clearly see that it was an ordinary-looking and slightly old man. He was wearing a rustic suit and was slightly plump. The good thing was that he looked familiar, so he didn't look annoying. This is my friend, Hui Yin introduced. Welcome. There's a banquet inside. Please come in. The groom looked very welcoming. It's okay, my husband is waiting for me. I'll leave first. I wish you all the best. After Huomin gave the wedding gift, she didn't want to stay any longer, so she turned around and left. When she returned to the restaurant next door, Qin Chu got out of his car as well. What's wrong? Why do you look so sad? Qin Chu could tell that Huomin wasn't in a good mood. Hui Yin got married to a middle-aged man who's more than 10 years older than her. He's widowed and has a 6-year-old son. I never thought that this would be her final destination. I feel a little sad. Qin Chu gently hugged Huomin and patted her back to comfort her. Silly girl, she used to be your enemy, but she's also an old friend of mine. Huomin's voice was a little choked up. As a woman, she felt sad for Hui Yin's fate. Who are these two? They're hugging each other on the street. Seriously, they're such an eyesore. The woman's voice was domineering. Upon hearing such a familiar voice, Huomin turned her head and smiled through her tears. Why are you two idiots here? Chapter 1253. When Huomin saw Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling, she was pleasantly surprised. Everyone had been busy for the past few days, and aside from the occasional WeChat message, they didn't really keep in touch. When she was in such a low mood, she was able to see her two best friends who were on extremely good terms with each other. It was really as if the clouds had dispersed and the mist had dispersed. Mr. Qin contacted us. He said he wanted to treat us to roasted lamb. Zhu Lingling playfully pointed at Qin Chu. Huamin looked at Qin Chu with happiness written all over her face. Why didn't you tell me? Would it be a surprise if I told you? Qin Chu lovingly patted Huamin's head. Hey, okay, can you guys stop torturing us? That's enough. Stop being so lovey-dovey. As Zhu Lingling spoke, she walked up and wrapped her arms around Huamin's arm. Where's your police? He's on duty. He said he'll be here soon. Huamin turned around and looked at Xiaowei. Where's young Master Wei? He was stuck in a traffic jam. I came in Lingling's car and took the highway. Haha, you're smart. Come on, let's go in first. As he spoke, Huamin walked into the restaurant with Zhu Lingling on his left arm and Jiang Xiaowei on his right arm. Qin Chu booked a luxurious private room. The three of them sat inside, and Huamin and her two best friends chatted and laughed, completely forgetting about the sadness they felt because of Hui Yanyan. Qin Chu was on his phone doing business. Soon, Wei Liao and Gao Ran arrived as well. The three couples sitting together were especially eye-catching because they were all handsome guys and pretty girls. There was even a hilarious episode in the middle. The waiter knocked on the door and came in, asking for a photo and autographs. At the time, Gao Ran asked in a showy manner, "Do I look like a celebrity?" "Actually, I'm not." Who knew that the waiter would reply, "No, it's just that you guys are pretty good looking, and maybe one of you will become famous in the future. So, I want to take a photo with you guys first. What if you become famous in the future?" After the waiter said this, the others couldn't help but laugh. Zhu Lingling laughed the loudest, and she wrapped her arms around Gao Ran's neck. "Mr. Policeman, I didn't know you could be embarrassed like this." Jiang Xiaowei looked at the waiter and laughed. "It's a waste of your brain to be a waitress. Why don't you follow me in the stock market? You have such foresight and can even see the future. You're really a genius." Actually, this waiter's he was the waiter in charge of this private room. When he saw how good-looking the guests were, he was stunned. Naturally, he was. So he took a photo, take a photo, but says, "These years is ins in yinny, took a year's day, like this inny. Mr. Policeman, your Photoshop skills are pretty good. It looks real." "Waiter, I didn't Photoshop. This is a real photo, okay?" "Yinny, but why did you take a photo with these big shots?" "Waiter, big shots? What big shots?" "Yinny, don't tell me you don't know these people." "Waiter, I really don't know them. I used to be a waiter in a restaurant, and I took a photo with them on a whim." "Yinny, waiter, so they're all." "Yinny, come, let me introduce you. The man on the left with a bright smile is the CEO of the Wei Financial Group, and the woman next to him is Mrs. Wei, who was pregnant at the time. She's a famous psychologist in the country, and later opened the largest psychology hospital in the country. The tall, muscular man next to them is the famous Chief Gao of the City Bureau, and the woman next to him is his wife. I heard that she's now running her own perfume brand, and she's a very capable career woman. "Waiter, what about the last couple? The man with the best looks and the pretty girl beside him? Why do I feel like they're the best?" Chapter 1254. Junior, they're the best. They used to be the most powerful people in Sea City. The man is rich and has billions of dollars in assets. He's a famous tycoon in Asia. The woman is smart and is a famous medical celebrity in the country and even the world. She's the only female Nobel Prize winner from China. She shocked the world. "Let me tell you, uncle, this photo of yours can be sold for at least 1 million yuan. "Waiter, where are they now? Are they still in Sea City?" "Junior, later, they went through a lot of things. I can't tell you all of them in a short time, but I recommend you watch a good TV series. It's about the legend of their lives." "Waiter, what TV series?" "Junior, Secret Marriage and Sweet Love." "Waiter, what's that?" "Junior, it's based on a good romance novel called Secret Marriage and Sweet Love. A paranoid husband is addicted to spoiling." "Waiter, I've never heard of it." "Junior, anyway, uncle, you really had the foresight many years ago. You were so lucky to have such a big group photo. Anyway, any one of them is a top figure in the country." "Waiter, okay, I finally know what it means to unintentionally plant a willow and grow a shade. When the six couples got together, they always had fun. At first, Wei Liao wasn't used to it. After all, he and Suyu had been buddies since they were kids. So, when he was with Qin Shu, he felt like a traitor who betrayed his buddies. So, young Master Wei was always gloomy when they got together. Later on, thanks to Dr. Zhang's guidance and brainwashing, Wei Liao happily joined the couple army and even shared a happy photo with his friends on WeChat. He posted a photo of the six of them eating roast lamb leg. He added the caption, "Gathering with my wife's best friend." The moment the photo was posted, the comment section was full of comments saying, "Wow, my second brother and second sister-in-law are so happy. They're showing off their love again." Tang Chuan, traitor, absolutely traitor. While Lord Su is going down south, you defected to the enemy. I look down on you. By the way, is the lamb leg delicious? Give me the address. Wei Liao replied to Tang Chuan, "Get lost." A few seconds later, Suyu left a comment at the bottom of the post. The one on the left in the photo, "Is there a high-definition image?" Asking for a large sum of money. Wei Liao almost fainted after reading it. Who else could San be but Humin? However, young Master Wei purposely teased Lord Su and replied, "San, are you talking about that kid from the criminal police unit? Suyu, fuck off, don't play dumb with me. That's the third person on the right. I'm talking about the third person on the left. I'll give you one last chance to speak properly. Otherwise, do you believe that I'll take a plane back to strangle you?" Wei Liao, "Haha, Lord Su, please spare my life. I'll send you the picture immediately." Tang Chuan, "Master Wei, you have no integrity. I'll look down on you." Speaking of which, is the lamb leg delicious? Continue to ask for the address, or send me your location. Wei Liao replied to Tang Chuan, "Fuck off, you little bastard." Wei Liao was a man of action. After sending a WeChat message to Suyu, he raised his phone and secretly took a photo of Huomin. She realized that the photo wasn't very clear, so she took 2 more photos. "What are you doing?" Jiang Xiaowei leaned over and whispered into Wei Liao's ear. "Damn, Wei Wei, are you trying to scare me to death? I'm asking you what you're doing." "Ah, nothing, I want to post it on WeChat, so I took a photo." Wei Liao felt guilty and immediately put down his phone. Huomin, who was talking, looked over curiously. Wei Liao felt guilty again. He immediately turned his head and wiped Jiang Xiaowei's mouth with a tissue. "Wei Wei, look at you. Your mouth is covered in oil. Fuck, can you not wipe my mouth with the tissue you just used to wipe your mouth?" Wei Liao was speechless. He picked it up and looked at it. Indeed, he panicked and took the wrong one. Fortunately, he successfully sent the photo to Suyu, who was in the South China Sea, was at the beach as the sun set. He listened to the ebb and flow of the tide and looked at the photo on his phone. His eyes were filled with endless gentleness. Chapter 1255. In the photo, Huomin's hair cascaded down to her shoulders. It was very similar to the hairstyle of the female lead in the popular web drama Brooding Over My Heart. She had this hairstyle in high school, and Qin Chu liked it very much. Once, when they were chatting, Qin Chu said that he liked her hair like this. Huomin decided to style Qin Chu's hair again. But strangely, even though the 24-year-old Huomin had the hairstyle from 7 years ago, it didn't look out of place. Youth didn't leave too many traces on her face, whether it was 7 years ago or 7 years later. Huomin always looked so calm and collected. She had a maturity and magnanimity that people her age didn't have. She was dressed very simply. She only wore a white shirt with a red spider lily embroidered on the collar. The black silk thread set off the white shirt, and it looked exceptionally beautiful. With a delicate face and such a fresh outfit, Huomin always gave people the feeling of being bathed in the spring breeze. Suyu quietly looked at the photo and felt an inexplicable sense of tranquility in his heart. It was said that one's honey was another's arsenic. This saying was not false at all when it came to Suyu. To Qin Chu, Huomin was his honey. Their high school days were Qin Chu's most beautiful treasures. To Suyu, Huomin's purity, which he didn't have time to participate in, was a touch of arsenic. Every time he saw her and Qin Shu standing together and smiling happily, he would feel so much pain that he wanted to die. Young master, the chief wants you to go back for a meeting. Okay. Suyu carefully put away his phone and walked in the direction of the military camp. When he followed his grandfather to the south, he wasn't a playboy who ate, drank, and played all day. Instead, he put on a military uniform and trained every day like the soldiers. He went to bed early and woke up early, doing what a normal soldier should do. So, every day was very fulfilling. He didn't dare to let himself relax, because whenever he had time, his thoughts would run wild. Whenever his thoughts ran wild, he would think of the girl named Huamin. Whenever he thought of the girl named Huamin, his heart would hurt again. It was an endless cycle. Back at the military camp, Grandpa was having a meeting with a few subordinates. When they saw Suyu come in, they smiled. You're getting better and better. It's time to find a wife. Uncle Zhang canceled it. I'm still too young. Suyu, young? When the chief was your age, your father was already 5 years old. Suyu was speechless. Come here. Your uncles have put in a lot of effort for your marriage. They even picked out a lot of pictures of female soldiers from the military doctors. Come and take a look. Don't you like female doctors the most? These are all. Grandpa, Sue had more than 20 photos of girls in military uniforms. Each one was prettier than the other. Grandpa, what's wrong? Grandpa, I came down south with you to experience life again. I'm not here to find a wife. Besides, if I wanted to find one, there are plenty in our hometown. There's no need for me to come all the way here. T says, listen, my grandson, when he's arguing, he's so reasonable. Master Lord Su pointed at Suyu helplessly. You, don't make things too difficult for your grandpa. He's old. Grandpa's subordinates tried to persuade him. Suyu glanced at them, and then at Lord Su. Then he said word by word, I didn't make things difficult for Grandpa. Grandpa, please don't make things difficult for me. I'm an adult and have the right to make my own choices. If Grandpa wants, I can dedicate my life to the army. Even if I die for the country, I won't regret it. But please don't make things difficult for me in this aspect. I only have one heart. I will make my own decisions. Suyu pointed at his chest and said proudly, You're the one who said that. Lord Su's eyes moistened when he heard this. He casually put the photo aside. He sighed. Forget it, little brat. I won't care about you anymore. You can do whatever you want in the future, but you'll always be my proudest grandson. In a restaurant in Sea City, the 6 couples were eating and the atmosphere was very lively. Zhu Lingling, the clown, suggested, Why don't we play a game to test your IQ? What do you think? Chapter 1256. Ahem. Lingling, calm down. Don't take things too hard, okay? Gao Ran quickly stopped Zhu Lingling. Zhu Lingling rolled her eyes at him. Am I taking things too hard? Are you sure you want to play an IQ test game with Huamin and Dr. Jiang? Gao Ran purposely dragged out his words. Wei Liao and Qin Shu both smiled, but didn't say anything. So what? Zhu Lingling was still arrogant. Are you sure you don't want to die? It's fine if we're not smart, but can't we have some self-awareness? I'm not going to do something like that. Fine. If you don't agree, you can move out of my house tonight. Gao Ran. You can't threaten me like that, right? Gao Ran looked like he was about to cry. Zhu Lingling's unreasonable behavior was super uncute. Oh, are you guys living together? Huamin covered his mouth and laughed. Yeah. Aren't you going to invite us to cook the pot? Are we still considered best friends? Jiang Shaowei added fuel to the fire. Only then did Zhu Lingling realize that she had let the cat out of the bag. Gao Ran covered his head and sighed. I'm not afraid of a godlike opponent, but I'm afraid of a pig-like teammate. What are you talking about? Zhu Lingling raised her voice. Gao Ran was so scared that he immediately sat up straight and said, I say, Lingling, whatever you say is right. Let's play a game that tests our IQ. Worst comes to worst, we'll be the first to get 5th or 6th place. Zhu Lingling, would it really be that bad? Zhu Lingling didn't believe it. Hey, you guys with insanely high IQs, do you dare play? Zhu Lingling looked at Jiang Shaowei and Huamin provocatively. I'm fine with anything, Huamin replied calmly. Same here, Jiang Shaowei replied domineeringly. Zhu Lingling put her hands on her hips and looked back at Qin Shu and Wei Liao. What about you two? I'll listen to my wife. Wei Liao hugged Xiao Wei and said sweetly. Qin Shu pinched Huamin's cheek. My Mian has the final say. Gao Ran looked at the two of them with disdain. I really look down on you two henpecked slaves. Then he leaned over to Zhu Lingling with a cheeky smile and asked, Lingling, as long as you're happy, anything is fine? Qin Shu was speechless. Wei Liao was speechless. So, stop making fun of us. You're a slave to your wife. Is the pot calling the kettle black? Mr. Qin retorted. However, Gao Ran shamelessly said, Please, I'm different from you. How are we different? Wei Liao froze. You guys have wives, and I'm your girlfriend, so we're different, Gao Ran said with a smug smile. So, we're legally sleeping together, and you're illegally living together? Is it really okay to knowingly break the law? The people's police are a bit. Wei Liao laughed. Yeah, what's the phone number of the municipal bureau? I want to report it. Qin Shu cooperated. Gao Ran, ahem. Everyone come, let's eat and drink, let's eat and drink. He dug a hole and ended up falling into it himself. It wasn't the first time Gao Ran did this, and everyone was already used to it at this moment. Zhu Lingling was still in high spirits. Are you guys going to play or not? Of course, Sister Lingling is finally in the mood. Why not? Huamin laughed. Yeah. We'll definitely risk our lives to play with you. Jiang Xiaowei replied while playing on her phone. Don't think you're so great just because you guys have high IQ. Let me tell you, our game this time is very difficult. You might not win just because you're smart, Zhu Lingling said confidently. Chapter 12:57. So, what are the rules? Sister Lingling, can you tell us about them? Huamin rarely saw Zhu Lingling so happy, so he decided to play along with her. Let's talk about the stakes first. The loser will put 1,000 yuan on the table, and the winner will take it all. Okay, you're obviously trying to scam us. Huamin laughed. Yes, that's what I mean. Do you guys dare to play? I'm okay. We're all okay. Huamin and Jiang Xiaowei knew Zhu Lingling well, so they accepted the challenge without even thinking. The problem was, Zhu Lingling hadn't told them the rules yet. So, the beautiful and kind Miss Zhu Lingling, can you tell us the rules of the game now? Gao Ran was getting impatient. The rules of the game are actually very simple. We just have to tell jokes. Finally, Zhu Lingling laid out her cards. Tell jokes? What kind of IQ game is this? Gao Ran was speechless. Let's each tell a story. If everyone laughs, you win. If one person doesn't laugh, you lose. The loser has to take out 1,000 yuan and put it on the stage in the middle. The winner takes it all. Ha! Zhu Lingling was extremely proud of herself. Look at how cocky you are, as if you're going to win for sure. Jiang Xiaowei laughed as she looked at Zhu Lingling. So, everyone, tell us the most classic joke of your life. We're going to talk about heroes while drinking. Then, Zhu Lingling took the initiative to pick up the wine glass and filled everyone's glass. Jiang Xiaowei was pregnant, so she used mineral water instead. In the end, after everyone drank a cup of wine together, Gao Ran proudly stood up. I'll tell a joke first. I'm an expert at telling jokes. Everyone in our station is laughing so hard that they can't stop. So, you're done? Mr. Qin asked quietly from his side. Bullshit. I haven't said anything yet. Okay? Gao Ran glared at Qin Shu. Huamin and Jiang Xiaowei were amused. Hurry up and tell us. Don't waste our time. Zhu Lingling pushed Gao Ran's waist with her fist. Gao Ran began to narrate the story vividly. It was said that an abbot was meditating when he suddenly encountered a bandit who placed a large saber on his neck. Bandit, damn old man, take out all your money and I'll spare your life. Abbot, money is just a worldly possession. You can't bring it with you when you're alive, and you can't bring it with you when you die. Benefactor, take it, take it. Then the abbot handed the money bag to the criminal bandit. Is this what you got from begging for alms in your life? Can you really bear to do that? Abbot, Buddhism emphasizes on karma and reincarnation. You and I had karma in our past lives, so today's karma has resulted in today's karma. The criminal was quite moved. Abbot, I have committed grave sins. Do you have a way to save me? Abbot, yes. Bandit, what is it? Abbot, lay down the butcher's knife and become a Buddha. Then the bandit put down the knife in his hand and bowed his head in repentance. The abbot took a step forward, picked up the large saber on the ground, and placed it on the bandit's neck. He scolded, "Give me back my money, you little bastard." After Gao Ran finished narrating the story vividly, Huamin and Jiang Shaowei laughed out loud. Qin Shu and Wei Liao were more reserved. They only smiled slightly. Zhu Lingling, who was beside him, looked calm. She actually didn't laugh. You're not giving me face? Gao Ran complained. Zhu Lingling stretched out her hand. Cut the crap. Pay up. Gao Ran felt that his story was quite funny. If he told this joke once in the bureau, both the newcomers and the seniors would laugh. However, why did Zhu Lingling, who was usually easily amused, jump when she heard it? Gao Ran had no choice but to admit defeat. He took out his wallet, took out 1,000 yuan, and placed it in the small bamboo basket at the center of the table. Who's next? Zhu Lingling asked happily. Upon seeing Zhu Lingling's smug expression, Huamian whispered to Jiang Shaowei, "I think Zhu Lingling is going to use her ultimate move against us today." Then let me tell one. Wei Liao saw that no one was eager to speak, so he stood up. Jiang Shaowei tilted her head and looked at her husband. To be honest, she was looking forward to how funny her husband could be. Chapter 1258. Little Chick wants to know what happiness is. So he went to ask the tiger, and the tiger said that happiness is being together as a family. Little Chick went to ask the lion, and the lion said that having 3 wives and 4 concubines is happiness. Little Chick didn't want to give up, so he went to ask the leopard, and the leopard said that having a healthy body is happiness. In the end, Little Chick happily went home and told his mother about everything that happened today. His mother patted his head and said with deep meaning, "Child, you're the happiest today." Little Chick didn't understand why. His mother said, "You're lucky that you came back alive today. Look at the people you asked, they were so fucking scary." After Wei Liao finished, Jiang Shaowei burst out laughing. Then she pinched Wei Liao coquettishly and said, "Why didn't you tell me something this funny?" "I just remembered." "Honey, don't pinch me. It's going to bruise." He looked around and saw that everyone was laughing, except for Zhu Lingling, who was still as calm as ever. "Are you determined to win our money?" Wei Liao laughed. "Little guy, just hold it in. Let's see how long you can hold it in." Jiang Shaowei was also amused. Just then, Wei Liao admitted defeat. He took out 1,000 yuan from his wallet and placed it in the bamboo basket. This was the second person to lose so miserably. It seemed like everyone was off to a bad start. Just then, Huamin pulled on Qin Shu's sleeve and said, "Honey, why don't you tell one too? All the guys here have done it. It's your turn now." Okay. Mr. Qin thought hard. He had always been cold and arrogant, and he rarely turned into a joker, so it was quite difficult for him to tell a joke. But since Huamin asked, he couldn't disappoint his wife. So Qin Shu stood up awkwardly and said seriously, "Then I'll tell one. It might not be funny, and there might be an awkward silence." "It's okay. Your joke doesn't have to be funny. Just take 1,000 yuan. Gao Ran interrupted. Huamin applauded for Qin Shu like a little girl. Then she raised her fist and said, "Hubby, you can do it." Qin Shu nodded and said, "There was an old farmer who raised a pig for many years. The pig was very strong, but he was reluctant to kill it. Then one day, people from the Animal Protection Association came to the village for an inspection and asked him, 'What does your pig eat every day?' He said, 'Wild vegetables.' The people from the Animal Protection Association were unhappy. They said that the pig was given such poor food and that it was animal cruelty. They would be fined 500 yuan. The old farmer felt uncomfortable, but he obediently paid the fine. The next day, people from the charity organization came and asked him, 'What do your pigs eat?' He said, 'My pig eats fish and meat every day. In short, whatever we eat, the pig will eat.' In the end, the people from the charity organization said that it was a waste of food. Many children in the mountainous areas could not even afford to eat steam buns. They fined him 500 yuan. The old farmer felt aggrieved, but he still paid the fine obediently. On the third day, the leaders of the county came to inspect and asked him, "What do your pigs eat every day?" The old farmer hesitated for a long time before he carefully answered, "I give it 10 yuan every day. It can buy whatever it wants to eat." After Qin Shu finished, everyone laughed again. Huamin gave him a thumbs up. "This is the first time I've heard my husband tell a joke so formally. It's pretty funny." "Qin Shu, I didn't know you had such a funny side. Haha." Jiang Shaowei couldn't stop laughing. Wei Liao and Gao Ran also enjoyed it. Just then, everyone turned to look at Zhu Lingling. They saw that she was still expressionless and calm. "My Lingling didn't laugh again?" Gao Ran raised his eyebrows. Without another word, Qin Shu immediately took out 1,000 yuan and placed it in the bamboo basket. The three men all failed miserably. "Shaowei, you do one and break through Zhu Lingling's zombie face." Huamin looked at Jiang Shaowei and said, "Okay, leave the difficult task to me. I promise to tell the funniest joke. I'm telling you guys, I'm counting on this joke for the rest of my life." Jiang Shaowei rolled up her sleeves and stood up with great fanfare. Wei Liao carefully supported her, afraid that she would fall. "Honey, calm down. Don't move too much. Haha, take it easy. Listen up, all of you." Jiang Shaowei was full of confidence as soon as she started. She had a PhD in psychology, so she should be able to grasp everyone's thoughts, right? Everyone immediately placed their hopes on her. Chapter 1259. Jiang Shaowei coughed lightly and said seriously, "An American, a French, and a Chinese man were walking in the desert. They were thirsty, hungry, and tired. As they walked, they suddenly picked up a bottle. When they opened it, a person floated out. The person said, 'I'm the genie. I can fulfill 3 of your wishes.' The American man liked to take advantage of others. The first one said, 'My first wish is a lot of money. My second wish is still a lot of money. My third wish is to go back to America.' The genie nodded. 'That's easy.' Then he waved his hand, and the American man went home with a lot of money. The French man also said, 'My first wish is beautiful women. My second wish is a lot of beautiful women. My last wish is to go back to France.' The genie waved his hand. 'That's easy. Go.' Then the French man went home with a lot of beautiful women. Finally, the Chinese man sat on the ground and said, 'My first wish is a bottle of erguotu.' The genie gave it to him. Then he said, 'My second wish is another bottle of erguotu.' The genie gave him another bottle. After he drank it, the genie asked, 'What's your third wish?' The Chinese man thought hard and finally said, 'I want 2 friends. Tell them to come back.' Instantly, the American and French men all returned to the desert. After Jiang Shaowei finished speaking, everyone laughed. Although they didn't laugh, they all thought it was quite interesting. However, Zhu Lingling didn't laugh. Jiang Shaowei continued, 'Don't worry, I'm not done yet.' Then, the 3 of them continued walking in the desert. They picked up another bottle, and another person came out. This person said, 'I'm the genie's younger brother. My power is not as high as my brother's, so I can only fulfill 2 of your wishes.' The American and French men thought about it. They were afraid that the Chinese man would ruin it, so they decided to let him speak first. The Chinese man thought hard and said, 'My first wish is a bottle of erguotu.' After he drank it, the genie asked, 'What's your second wish?' The Chinese man thought about it and said, 'I don't have any more wishes. You can go back first.' The French and Americans were dumbfounded. Before they could even say their wishes, the genie had left. Huamin hugged Qin Shu's neck and laughed uncontrollably. Wei Liao lowered his head and took out his phone to take a short video, laughing as he did so. Gaoran was also laughing uncontrollably. He said, 'Dr. Jiang, this is good. I'm going to keep it for my subordinates when I go back to the station.' Everyone looked at Zhu Lingling again. She still didn't smile. Jiang Shaowei felt embarrassed and immediately said, 'Before I could finish, the 3 of them left and picked up another bottle. Another lamp god came out and said, 'I'm the disciple of the 2 lamp gods just now. My magic power is not as strong as the 2 masters, so I can only fulfill 1 wish for each of you.' As soon as the genie finished speaking, the Americans and the French said in unison, "Send the Chinese back first." So the Chinese went home, the genie left, and the Americans and the French stayed in the desert forever. Jiang Shaowei finished her story. It was a joke that was split into 3 parts, which was quite interesting. However, Zhu Lingling didn't laugh. "Lingling, don't you think it's funny?" Gao Ran was puzzled. "I don't think so. Hurry up and pay up, Dr. Jiang." Zhu Lingling waved her hand. Jiang Shaowei took out 1,000 yuan and put in a bamboo basket. "Zhu Lingling, I really admire you." In the end, everyone placed their hopes on Huamin. Huamin felt everyone's expectant gazes and pouted. "Don't look at me like that. I'm stressed. We believe in you." Jiang Shaowei smiled. "I don't even believe in myself. I'm not easily amused." Huamin was a little embarrassed. "Go on. Now it's only you and Zhu Lingling left. I have faith in you." Wei Liao felt that since Huamin was so good, she would definitely be able to defeat Zhu Lingling. Therefore, Huamin nodded. Under everyone's expectant gazes, she stood up and began to tell her most classic joke. Chapter 1260. As a final guest, Zhu Lingling received a lot of attention. No matter what others said, she didn't laugh. She was amazing. Zhu Lingling looked around and said calmly, "There was once a king who had a pet that he loved very much. It was an elephant. Because the king doted on this elephant for many years, it became very arrogant. Many people didn't dare to provoke it. Finally, when it was time for the king's daughter, the princess, to get married, the king suddenly had an idea. He said that he would marry his daughter to whoever could make his elephant shake its head, nod its head, and sit down in the pool. Many unmarried young men came to try it out, but they all failed. One day, a young beggar came and asked the king if he could try. The king thought that he couldn't do it, so he nodded. The beggar came to the elephant and asked, "Do you know me?" The elephant shook its head. Then he asked, "I heard that you're quite awesome." The elephant nodded. Finally, he took out a torch and lit up the elephant's tail. The elephant sat down in the pool in a hurry. Everyone was surprised, and the king was even more surprised. However, he wasn't willing to marry the princess to the beggar, so he deliberately made things difficult for the beggar and said, "This time doesn't count. If you can make my elephant nod its head, shake its head, and sit down in the pool, I'll admit defeat." The beggar didn't panic. He came to the elephant again and asked, "Bro, do you still recognize me?" The elephant nodded timidly. He continued to ask, "Are you still awesome?" The elephant took 2 steps back and shook its head. Finally, he took out a torch and continued, "I don't need to tell you what to do, right?" The elephant nodded, and without another word, sat down in the pool. After Zhu Lingling finished, everyone laughed. Although it wasn't a roar of laughter, everyone had a happy expression on their faces. "You're all laughing. Does the money belong to me?" Zhu Lingling was happy. Yes. You're the best. Take it. We were tricked by you this time." Jiang Shaowei covered her mouth and laughed. Although everyone lost money, they were happy. How big an honor would it take to have such a group of people tell jokes one by one? Especially Qin Chu. It was the first time that even Huamin had heard him tell a joke. Zhu Lingling happily pocketed the 5,000 yuan she had won. Huamin said with a smile, "Lingling is such a scammer. She must be doing this on purpose. Speaking of which, I thought of another story." "What story?" Everyone was puzzled. Huamin said with a smile, "Joke-telling competition was held in the forest. Every little animal took turns to tell a joke. If one of them didn't laugh, they had to throw the joke-telling animal into the river as punishment. The first one to go on stage was Little Monkey. Little Monkey told a joke, and everyone laughed except for Little Pig. Helpless, he could only throw the little monkey into the river. The second person to tell a joke was the giraffe. Everyone laughed, but Piglet didn't laugh. Helpless, everyone threw the giraffe into the river as well. The third person to go on stage was Xiaoniao. Xiaoniao told a joke that was so cold. No one laughed, only Piglet laughed. It was very magical. Xiaoma asked Piglet, "Xiaoniao's joke is not funny. Why did you laugh?" Can you guys guess what Little Pig said? Jiang Shaowei said, "Little Pig definitely said that I thought it was funny." Huamin shook his head. Maybe Little Pig and Little Cow are good friends? Wei Liao guessed. Huamin continued to shake his head. What's going on? Why did Little Pig laugh? Tell us. Gao Ran asked curiously. Chapter 1261. Huamin replied in all seriousness. Piggy said that the monkey's joke was really funny. Everyone was speechless. Piggy was slow to react, so he only reacted to the first joke when Huamian told the third one. The monkey and the giraffe were wronged. Even more wronged than Do. Zhu Lingling immediately reacted. She jumped up and immediately grabbed Huamin by the back of his neck. You little brat, how dare you mock me and call me Piggy? Do you think I can't tell? I'm going to strangle you to death. Help! This crazy woman is strangling me. Huamin shrieked as he shrunk his neck back. The two of them didn't care about their image at all and fooled around as if no one else was around. It was as if they had returned to their school days. Huamin hadn't fooled around with Zhu Lingling in a long time. Qin Shu and Gao Ran watched as the two of them traveled back in time. It was as if they had traveled back in time to 7 years ago, and their moods subconsciously improved. Jiang Xiaowei gently stroked her belly as she watched the joyous scene unfold before her. The gathering of the 6 couples was exceptionally heartwarming and happy. The meal lasted until 11 p.m., and everyone was still hungry for more. Jiang Xiaowei originally suggested going to Seductive Fox, but everyone thought that she was pregnant, so they didn't want to go. Zhu Lingling was extremely generous and didn't take the 5,000 yuan for herself. Instead, she paid the bill. Then, the 3 couples went home. Zhu Lingling got into Gao Ran's Jaguar. They had been living together not long ago. Gao Ran's new apartment was newly renovated, so the smell was a little strong. Therefore, the two of them temporarily stayed at Zhu Lingling's rented mansion. After they got into the car, Gao Ran helped Zhu Lingling put on her seatbelt. When Gao Ran leaned over to help her put on her seatbelt, Zhu Lingling suddenly hugged him gently. Her gentle action surprised Gao Ran slightly. Lingling, what's wrong? Gao Ran, thank you for loving me. Gao Ran didn't think that this girl would suddenly become so serious, so he really didn't know what to say. Then, Zhu Lingling continued, actually, I don't have much confidence in myself. I'm not as smart as Huamin, I'm not as mature as Jiang Xiaowei, and I don't have the ability to read people's minds. Compared to them, I'm the most ordinary of us. I'm just a silly girl who likes to laugh and laugh. I thought a person like me was destined to never be happy. I didn't expect you to give me what I wanted. Sometimes, I feel like it's unreal. You're the son of a high-ranking official, and you're so outstanding. While I'm just the daughter of an ordinary person. I'm silly, have a bad temper, and have a sharp tongue, but you're still willing to love me. So, I really have to thank you, my most handsome policeman. Zhu Lingling wrapped her arms around Gao Ran's neck and softly confessed to him. Gao Ran felt like his heart was about to melt. He really wasn't used to the woman who is usually so aggressive suddenly becoming so gentle. Lingling, why are you acting so strange? Are you going to break up with me? Gao Ran felt like this was a sign of breaking up. Usually, when two people were about to break up, the woman would say things like, you're really great, but we're not suitable for each other. Break up my ass. If you dare to break up with me, I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. Zhu Lingling revealed her true colors. Gao Ran looked at her and saw that she was still the original Zhu Lingling. Only then did he relax. You scared me. I thought you were possessed by a ghost. Gao Ran laughed. Possess your ass. Do you even understand what I'm saying? Zhu Lingling looked up and pouted as she asked unhappily. Then what are you talking about? Gao Ran deliberately played dumb. Chapter 1262. Damn it, what did I just say to you? Zhu Lingling's face darkened. Gao Ran couldn't help but laugh out loud. To be honest, I really feel inferior when compared to Mian and Wei Wei. Sometimes, I think I'll never reach their heights, but I don't want to compare myself to them. They're my good friends, and I'm happy for them if they're happy. Tonight, I suggested we play a game. Actually, what they said was hilarious, so I try my best not to laugh. I wanted to win against them and prove that I'm good at it. But I know, even if I'm dumb, I could tell that everyone was going easy on me. Well, I said wasn't funny, but everyone laughed. They were doing it for my sake. I'm glad that I have a group of friends like them. I love them, but I love you more. Gao Ran lovingly kissed Zhu Lingling's forehead. Silly, you might not be the best, but in my eyes, you're the best. There's only one Zhu Lingling in this world, and she's the Zhu Lingling of Gao Ran's family. She's the one who always bickers with me, but she's tough on the outside but soft on the inside. She's the one with the biggest boobs and the most beautiful flight attendant. I don't care what other people think or say, but in my heart, you're already priceless. This was the first time that Zhu Lingling heard Gao Ran being so serious. She felt like her heart was about to melt. She wrapped her arms around Gao Ran's neck and slowly leaned in. The two of them kissed tightly in the car, from the initial gentle entanglement to the final overwhelming kiss on the other side. Qin Shu and Huamin were heading home to South Hill Manor. Huamin was in a good mood. He sat in the passenger seat and hummed along. Honey, are you happy tonight? MHM's super happy. When I was fooling around with Lingling, I felt like I was back in school. I had the same feeling too. Qin Shu smiled. Honey, MHM? I didn't know you could tell dirty jokes until today. So, when we get home, take a shower, and go to bed, can you tell me a couple more? I want to hear something deeper than the last one. Qin Shu said as he drove. She didn't think too much about it. She just thought of it on the spur of the moment and said it casually. She didn't expect Mr. Qin to remember it so well. Why did it feel like she was labeled as a dirty person? That wasn't her true nature. Ahem. Honey, you misunderstood me. I saw that joke in a magazine. I'm not good at it. Huamian explained guiltily. Oh, that's okay. Which magazine did you read it from? I'll buy a few more for you. You can learn a few more and teach them to me. However, Qin Shu remained calm. Huamian was silent. Meanwhile, in the Jaguar, the two of them were kissing passionately. Everyone else was home, but they were still in the parking lot of the hotel. After some time, the two of them couldn't breathe. Gao Ran reluctantly let go of Lingling, then he carefully tidied up her messy clothes. Gao Ran looked at Zhu Lingling with deep affection and gentleness in his eyes. He said something to her, inadvertently, but it was like a sudden clap of thunder that woke her up. Zhu Lingling thought he was going to say, Lingling, let's go home. However, to her surprise, Gao Ran suddenly said in all seriousness, Lingling, let's get married, shall we? What did you say? Zhu Lingling felt her mind go blank. Chapter 1263. Let's get married, let's get married. Gao Ran looked at Zhu Lingling gently as he repeated his words. Gao Ran actually said something as formal as a proposal so easily. Although there were no flowers, no diamond rings, no candles, no fireworks, and no grand occasion. Zhu Lingling was so touched that tears streamed down her face. She didn't know why, but her tears kept flowing. Why are you crying? Gao Ran was terrified. He didn't know what a woman was thinking. He thought that his proposal scared Zhu Lingling to tears. Gao Ran quickly took back a tissue and carefully wiped away Zhu Lingling's tears. Do you think a proposal is a small thing? You don't even have a ring? Zhu Lingling said as she cried. She tried to cover up her tears because she was so touched. Yes, yes, yes. Then, Gao Ran magically took out a red brocade box and opened it in front of Zhu Lingling. It was a very ordinary diamond ring, but the diamond was very big. How much did it cost to buy such a big ring? Zhu Lingling asked as she wiped away her tears. Not much, not much. Less than 100,000. Gao Ran giggled. Less than 100,000? You can't even earn a year's salary? Zhu Lingling was angry and heartbroken. It's okay, if a year's salary isn't enough, I'll give it to you for 2 years. Anyway, I've been working for so long and haven't spent much of my salary. My parents pay for my meals, so it's definitely enough to buy a ring. Are you stupid? Why did you buy such a big one? Zhu Lingling always knew that although Gao Ran's family was rich, his salary wasn't high. It wasn't even as high as Zhu Lingling's salary. He couldn't compare to rich CEOs like Qin Shu and Wei Liao. So, She was heartbroken that he spent so much money on a ring. I was thinking that if the diamond was bigger, the chances of you accepting my proposal would be higher. Gowron scratched the back of his head and smiled embarrassedly. You're so stupid. Zhu Lingling held the ring and couldn't put it down. She put it on her middle finger, and it fit perfectly. You guessed the size right. You're so lucky, Zhu Lingling said stubbornly. What do you mean guessed? I secretly measured it while you were sleeping, Gao Ran said innocently. Zhu Lingling's heart immediately overflowed with a warm feeling. It turned out that this seemingly heartless police officer, who only had work in his eyes, actually had such a meticulous side to him. Where are the flowers? There aren't any flowers. Zhu Lingling tried to find fault with her. Flowers? Yes, wait. Then, Gao Ran lowered his head and took out a food bag from the back seat. It says, Zhu Lingling opened it and was a little dumbfounded. Flour pancakes? I think flowers are too wasteful and not suitable. Flour pancakes are also made with flowers and can be eaten. Haha, killing two birds with one stone. Zhu Lingling, this was the first time in her life that she saw someone propose with flour pancakes instead of flowers. Then Zhu Lingling said faintly, Since you can propose to me with fresh flour pancakes instead of fresh flowers, should I buy you some wife pancakes and pretend that I'm your wife? I don't have to go. Gao Ran, but the diamond is real. Zhu Lingling looked at Gao Ran's aggrieved face and immediately smiled through her tears. So, the gentle, beautiful, kind, generous, and omnipotent Miss Zhu Lingling, will you marry me? Gao Ran didn't know how to be romantic. He originally planned to propose after they got home and when they were in the throes of their XXO. But now, he realized that the atmosphere after the two of them kissed was very good. So, he proposed in the car. Now, he was just waiting for Zhu Lingling to nod. Then he decided that the two of them would get their marriage certificate tomorrow and say goodbye to being single. Chapter 1264. Zhu Lingling was actually looking forward to this moment. Like Huomin, she missed 7 years with Gao Ran. They were supposed to be lovers in high school. But for various reasons, they didn't end up together. After 7 years, the two of them were still together. Naturally, they cherished this relationship. Ever since they moved in together, their lives were no different from when they were married. When she was at home on vacation, she would cook for Gao Ran and wash his clothes. When Gao Ran got off work, the two of them would watch movies and eat supper like a normal couple. All they lacked was a marriage certificate. Zhu Lingling wasn't that pretentious. She had a carefree personality and had been hurt in love before. Therefore, she didn't expect to get married so early. However, she couldn't deny that she loved Gao Ran very much. She had already decided that he would be her partner for life. However, this proposal came so suddenly that she wasn't mentally prepared. Lingling, are you daydreaming? Seeing that Zhu Lingling didn't answer for a long time and only lowered her head in silence, Gao Ran didn't know what to do. After a while, Zhu Lingling raised her head and returned the diamond ring to Gao Ran. What do you mean? Gao Ran's heart sank. I really want to marry you, but now is not the time. I'm waiting for an opportunity. What opportunity? Gao Ran froze. The opportunity for Mian to get pregnant, Zhu Lingling said word by word. Gao Ran didn't say anything. However, he didn't expect this to be Zhu Lingling's answer. Then, she said, Mian treats me like a sister. When I was in trouble, she would risk her life to protect me. I remember all of that. She hasn't had a baby since she got married, and it has always been a pain in her heart. However, I believe that she will have one. The moment she has a baby, we will get married and have children. It will be the best of both worlds, so I'm waiting for that opportunity. Then, Gao Ran paused for a moment. He raised his hand and rubbed the tip of his nose. If they don't have a baby, we won't get married? Of course not. What I mean is that we can wait. They will have a baby. Give me a year. If they don't, we will still get married, okay? I just want to wait for her. Zhu Lingling enunciated each and every word clearly. Gao Ran had been a criminal police officer for a long time, so he was very good at reading people's eyes. Sometimes he could tell whether you were lying or just brushing him off with a single glance. He looked into Zhu Lingling's eyes and realized that there was nothing but sincerity in her. It seemed like she was really waiting for Qin's baby to be born, to announce their marriage, to add to the icing on the cake. Sure, I'll listen to you. Gao Ran nodded. Then, you're not mad at me, right? Zhu Lingling asked anxiously. She was afraid that Gao Ran would be disappointed. No, why would I be mad? You'll be mine sooner or later. You won't be able to run away. After speaking, before Zhu Lingling could say anything, he took out a diamond ring and forced it on Zhu Lingling's finger. Put the ring on. I already know that you're my wife, Gao Ran said domineeringly. Zhu Lingling's heart immediately swelled with happiness. The diamond ring worth more than 90,000 yuan cost Gao Ran almost 2 years' worth of his salary. She wore the ring on her finger and was filled with happiness. It wasn't because of how expensive the ring was. Instead, it was because this was Gao Ran's most sincere gift. On the other hand, ever since Hua Xiqian and Song Yisher got married, Hua Xiqian didn't go home to sleep. After work, he received a call from Mayor Song, asking him to pick up Song Yisher from his home. It turned out that Song Yisher went home the day after their wedding. She didn't want the media to report about it, so she didn't leave the house. Mayor Song thought that this was a good idea, so he called Hua Xiqian. After work, Hua Xiqian drove straight to the Song family's home. Song Yisher was just about to go downstairs when she saw Hua Xiqian. Her expression changed. What are you doing here? Chapter 1265. Father-in-law called me and asked me to come pick you up. I'm not going back. You should leave. Song Yisher didn't hate Hua Xiqian anymore. Instead, she was afraid of him. On their wedding night, she was covered in injuries from the beating of a belt. She didn't even dare to tell her parents, so she could only swallow her anger. She finally realized that Hua Xiqian was a true psycho, and it was unwise to go against him. Therefore, she would rather hide from him and stay at the Song mansion. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Hua Xiqian didn't care about Song Yisher. He married her for a reason. Now that he had achieved his goal, he didn't care if she went home or not. After speaking, Hua Xiqian turned around to leave. However, he bumped into Mayor Song, who had just opened the door. Father-in-law. Hua Xiqian smiled. Where are you going? Mayor Song asked with a dark expression. Sure, said she's not going back, so she told me to leave first. Nonsense. If you say you're not going back, then you're not going back. Both of you, come here, I have something to say. After speaking, Mayor Song walked in with a dark expression and sat down on the sofa in the living room. Song Yisher reluctantly walked down the stairs in a black lace dress. Hua Xiqian was smiling the entire time. He sat down next to Mayor Song without a trace of awkwardness. It was as if he didn't care about his father-in-law at all. I don't care why you two got married, but you're already husband and wife. It doesn't matter if you're in a good relationship or not. The most important thing is that you don't let people talk about you. Nowadays, the media can expose anything. Sure, you can't stay at home all the time, so you should go home first. Dad, I'm not going home. Shut up, it's not up to you. Do you expect me to clean up after you two? Mayor Song's words were quite harsh. Song Yisher immediately fell silent. Hua Xiqian, on the other hand, was smiling the entire time. It was hard to tell what he was thinking. Even if you want to get a divorce, it'll have to wait 3 months. After the provincial election, Mayor Song's intention was obvious. He didn't want any negative news about him to affect his future. Got it, Dad. Song Yisher felt that it was only 3 months, and it shouldn't be too difficult, so she stopped arguing with her father. I'm fine with that. Hua Xiqian shrugged. Also, the two of you have to be lovey-dovey in public. You have to pretend to be lovey-dovey. You can't let people catch you red-handed. Song Yisher was angry, but he still nodded. I got it, Dad. I'll listen to you, father-in-law. Hua Xiqian nodded. Okay, you can leave now, or you can leave after dinner. Mayor Song stood up and left. Song Yisher glared at Hua Xiqian. You'd better not touch me for the next 3 months. Don't worry. Even if you beg me, I won't. Hua Xiqian sneered. Let him touch her? Are you kidding me? Even a prostitute from a nightclub would be better than Song Yisher. This woman really thought too highly of herself. The two of them weren't in the mood to stay for dinner, so they left together. Then, they each drove back to Hwasiqian's mansion. After they got home, Hwasiqian changed his clothes and went out again. Song Yishur was already used to this, so she didn't ask where he was going. She took a shower and went to bed. After making sure that Hwasiqian was really gone, Song Yishur picked up her phone and dialed number. "Come out tomorrow, let's meet. Our plan can't be stopped. We have to continue." Hwasiqian was driving with his earphones on. After eavesdropping, he took off his earphones and threw them aside. "Bitch, you can't even stop for a second. Sooner or later, you'll get yourself killed." The next morning, it was the weekend. Hwamin was resting, while Chin Chu was picked up by the company's chauffeur in a Bentley. He left his beloved Maybach with Hwamin. Hwamin drove the Maybach straight to Sky Blessing Court to visit her mother. She wanted to see if Yang Xiaoping was still there. Did she return the item? Chapter 1266. At Sky Blessing Court. When Hwamin arrived, his mother had just finished eating and was cleaning the house. "Mom, me on your back." "Yeah, Mom, where's Xiaoping?" Hwamin looked around and asked tentatively. "Oh, Xiaoping left," Yang Meirong said as she mopped the floor. "Oh, she left? Why did she leave?" "Your kid said she found a job and got paid 5,000 yuan a month. I thought it was pretty good, so I let her go. Otherwise, it's meaningless to stay here. It's just like go to jail." "Oh." Hwamin nodded and didn't say anything else. "Oh, right, I found the jewelry, Mian." "You found it? Where did you find it?" Hwamin knew that Yang Xiaoping was afraid of going to jail and wouldn't dare to not get the jewelry back. The jewelry wasn't worth much, but it was a matter of character. Stealing was a shameful thing. You can't do something wrong because you're poor or jealous. Those were all dirty excuses. Yang Meirong put down the mop in her hand and straightened up. "Xiaoping found it when she was helping me pack up some old clothes. It's weird, I couldn't find it no matter how hard I searched, but now I have it." "Did you find it? Is there anything missing?" Hwamin asked worriedly. "No, there's nothing missing." "MHM, that's good. What's wrong?" Yang Meirong felt like her daughter was acting weird today. "Nothing. Mian, is there still no news from your belly?" Yang Meirong remembered. "No." Hwamin shook his head. "It's okay. You're still young. Take care of your body. You'll definitely get pregnant." Yang Meirong didn't want her daughter to be sad, so she comforted her. "MHM, I know, Mom. I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me." Then, Hwamin changed into his old clothes and helped his mother clean the house. At noon, Hwamin had a simple meal with his mother and left. After Hwamin came out, he drove directly to Xiewan's place. Shuai Shuai had been discharged from the hospital for a long time, and Xiewan had also gone to work. The mother and son were doing well. Sometimes, Xiewan would give Hwamin some delicious food that she made herself, including pickled vegetables and braised eggs. He would also make some insoles, sock covers, and the like by hand. In short, Xiewan was very grateful for Hwamin's kindness to her and her son. It was the weekend. When Hwamin arrived, Xiewan and Shuai Shuai were having lunch. He was surprised to see Hwamin, Sister Hwamin. Shuai Shuai put down his chopsticks and ran over happily. Hwamin patted his head. "You've grown taller again, Shuai Shuai. How are your studies?" "Pretty good. I came in 15th place on the monthly exam, which is 5 places better than last time. Last time, I was 20th, and there were 45 students in my class." Before Hwamin could ask, Shuai Shuai blurted out everything. "That's great. Good luck." Hwamin generously praised the child. "Dr. Hua, you're just in time. Come sit down and eat with us." Xiewan stood up and warmly greeted Hwamin. "It's okay, Sister Xie. I already ate at my mother's place. I came today because I wanted to see you and Shuai Shuai. Thanks to you, my son and I are doing very well now. I didn't even dare to dream that there would be such a day." Xiewan was very satisfied when she talked about the happy life she had today. "What about N.I. Yang? Have you been in touch with him?" When Xiewan heard N.I. Yang's name, she shook her head with a complicated expression. "That's why I'm here. I don't think it should be delayed any longer. I want to resolve the conflict between you and your son." "Huh? How? Will N.I. Yang forgive me?" Xiewan was surprised. Chapter 1267. That's my business. Don't worry about it. Anyways, just listen to me. Then, how can I thank you, Dr. Hua, for helping us so much? Xiaowan wanted to kneel down and kowtow to Huamin 100 times because Huamin had done so much for her. It's okay. Enai Yang is like my little brother. I want to see him reunite with his mother and brother. Don't feel too pressured. Huamin stayed at the Xia Mansion for a while and bought Shui a lot of school supplies before leaving for GK. GK was shooting a promotional video for celebrities this weekend. Therefore, most of the celebrities had to come back to the company. Huamin thought that she would definitely see Enai Yang here. However, to her surprise, she bumped into two other people in the lobby downstairs. Mo Shui, and Jiang Yi. Jiang Yi was an artist who lived in Jing City, but he had been showing up in the city a lot lately. Everyone said that he and Mo Shui were good friends. Now as she thought about it, it really was a young lady. Hello, a young lady. Good afternoon, a young lady. Everyone at GK knew who Huamin was. Even though she was dressed casually in a short beige jacket, pencil pants, and mid-height boots, she looked as fresh and cute as a teenage girl. However, none of the employees dared to offend the woman that their boss loved the most. A young lady, what a coincidence. Why are you here? Mo Shui, smiled when she saw Huamin. It was as if the abortion incident never happened. Huamin nodded. I'm here to see Enai Yang. A young lady seems to be very close to Enai Yang. Jiang Yi said with jealousy. Huamin ignored Jiang Yi's words because she didn't know this person at all. After that, Huamin swiped his card and used the boss' personal elevator to go upstairs. Jiang Yi looked at Huamin's back and shook his head. Tiske, this woman is really arrogant. She actually ignored me. Mo Shui chuckled. If you knew that she even dared to scold Lord Su, you wouldn't feel so wronged. Actually, I'm very curious. I really want to know what kind of woman she is. Jiang Yi sneered. So, are you planning to make our boss your enemy? Mo Shui sneered. Jiang Yi smiled, but didn't say anything. Huamin would never give face to people he wasn't familiar with, no matter who they were. Jiang Yi felt that his status was very high, so he felt wronged because he was rejected. If Lord Su knew about this, wouldn't he feel even more wronged? If Huamin was someone who could be won over by burning money, why would Su Yu be in so much pain right now? After Huamin arrived at GK for the first time, she didn't go straight to the president's office. Instead, she went to the artist department. As expected, Enai Yang was putting on makeup. A young lady, you're here. A few executives from the marketing department all greeted Huamin. Huamin nodded and went straight to Enai Yang. Sister Huamin, why are you here? Enai Yang looked up. I'm here to see you. What is it? Enai Yang smiled. Ever since a lot of things happened between them, Enai Yang had always treated Huamin like his own sister. Ever since Jixin left the country, Huamin had also treated Enai Yang like her own little brother. Therefore, they didn't hide anything from each other. Are you free tonight? I'll treat you to dinner. You're treating me to dinner? Enai Yang froze. Huamin smiled and nodded. Sister Huamin, are you up to something? One who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. You taught me that. Enai Yang smiled. Yeah, I'm up to something. Do you have the guts to go? Of course, my sister is treating. I have to go. Not only that, but I'm also going to make you pay. Enai Yang was in a great mood. Inside GK. Boss, a young lady is here. Where is she? Qin Chu looked up with a file in his hand. She went straight to film and television. Assistant Yang pointed in another direction. Qin Chu was speechless. How could he not know that his wife was here? So I'm conflicted. Should I call her here for you? Or should you call her yourself? Assistant Yang asked with a trembling voice. He felt like something was off between the president and a young lady today. Chapter 1268. Qin Chu's face darkened. Did he have to call her? She was already at HQ. How could she not come to his office? If she didn't come, then tonight, he would have an excuse to tie her hands with a belt again. Would Huamin give him that chance? The answer was no. After Huamin and Enai Yang agreed to have dinner together without another word, they went straight to the president's office. At that time, Jiang Yi, Mo Shui, Annie Liang, and a few other celebrities were talking to Qin Shu about a commercial performance during Chinese New Year. Huamin didn't even knock and pushed the door open. She ignored everyone and threw herself at Qin Shu. Like a little bird, she opened her arms and threw herself into Mr. Qin's arms. She gave Mr. Qin a surprise bear hug. "Honey, I'm here." She then realized that there might be other people in the office. She looked up and saw Jiang Yi, Mo, Shui and Annie Liang looking at her with dumbfounded expressions. Perhaps they didn't expect a young lady, who usually looked so dignified, to have such a funny side. You're in a meeting? I'll go out first. You guys talk." Realizing that she had interrupted Mr. Qin's work, Huamin immediately stood up and tried to run away. However, Mr. Qin held her tightly in his arms and wouldn't let her go. "Sit down, it's fine." Mr. Qin only said those 4 simple words, but was it really okay? The problem was that Huamin was sitting on Qin Shu's lap. Just then, Jiang Yi, who was sitting on the sofa, asked sourly, "Is this how the president usually does his work?" It's my first time seeing this," Annie Liang replied. Mo Shui smiled. She thought that she should let Huasiqian see this scene. He wanted to see how loving Huamin and Qin Shu were. Then his heart would bleed. Mo Shui used to think that she was the most pitiful person in the world. However, she soon realized that she was nothing compared to Huasiqian. Huasiqian didn't love her, but he was willing to sleep with her. On the other hand, Huasiqian liked Huamin, but Huamin never knew about his feelings for her all these years. His love was not as obvious as Su Yu's. Therefore, Mo Shui felt that Huasiqian was the most pitiful person in the world. "My wife is a little naughty. Don't mind her. Let's continue with the meeting." Qin Shu hugged Huamin as if no one was around. Then, he continued to talk to the superstars about the end of the year. His spirit of doting on his wife was unparalleled. 15 minutes later, the meeting ended and the few of them left the office. Huamin heaved a sigh of relief and hugged Qin Shu's neck coquettishly. "Hubby, is it really okay for us to show off our love like this?" "Who said you were showing off? Isn't this our daily routine?" Qin Shu asked in all seriousness. "Haha, fine. You win." Huamin could never compare to Qin Shu's black-bellied ways. She was once worried that her baby would inherit this fine tradition of his. In the future, he would be invincible with his black-bellied ways. "I heard that when you came to the company, you went to the film and television department first?" "Huh, you saw me on the surveillance cameras?" Huamin laughed. "Qin Shu, why would I need surveillance cameras? There are so many pairs of eyes watching you when you walk into the company. What were you doing there?" "I was looking for an Yang." "Why were you looking for him?" Mr. Qin was slightly jealous. "To have dinner with him. I'm going to treat him to dinner tonight." "Okay, I'm coming too," Mr. Qin announced domineeringly. "Huamin, hubby, calm down. Listen to me first. I wanted to have dinner with an Yang because I have something to discuss with him." "What is it?" "It's about the reconciliation between him and his mother. I told you about it before." "So, I can't go with you? You have to go alone?" Qin Shu looked at Huamin and asked. "Yeah, not only can you not go, but you also have to approve something for me. Otherwise, I'm afraid I can't handle it." "What is it?" Qin Shu looked confused, but seeing how his wife was trying to curry favor with him, it probably wasn't anything good. As expected, Huamin slowly said, "It's actually not a big deal. I just want your approval to have a drink with an Yang." "Drink? Wine?" Qin Shu repeated these 2 words with great emphasis. Chapter 1269. I want a drink. Huamin felt a little guilty. "Are you sure?" Qin Shu looked in her eyes and asked again in all seriousness. Huamin knew that her husband was going to reject her request, so she decided to play her trump card. She wrapped her arms around Qin Shu's neck and began to act coquettishly. "Honey, you won't reject me, right? It's just a small request." "A small request? You think drinking is a small request?" Qin Shu raised his eyebrows. "But I'm not just drinking for no reason. I want to help an Yang. You don't have to drink to help him, do you?" "Why not? Last time, when I helped him get over the knot in his heart, I asked him to drink. This is called fighting poison with poison. An Yang is an introvert. If he doesn't get drunk, he won't be able to open his heart. His relationship with his mother is like fire and water. I have to help them reconcile. This is the most important thing I can do for him. Qin Shu lowered his head and didn't say anything. Huamin didn't know what he was thinking. Mr. Qin, my dear husband, please? Huamin continued to poison Huamin. She wrapped her arms around Qin Shu's neck, and her tone was unprecedentedly gentle. In the end, Qin Shu was defeated by Huamin's sugar-coated bullets. I really don't know what to do with you. He sighed slightly. Hi, you said yes, honey? Go ahead, don't drink too much, take care of yourself. Qin Shu finally agreed to Huamin's rude request. Thank you, honey. Huamin was overjoyed. She kissed Qin Shu on the cheek. Then, she turned around and left his embrace. You're leaving just like that? Qin Shu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Wasn't his wife too realistic? Did she just turn around and leave after using him? Huamin was slightly startled. What else? Do you have to be so obvious about burning the bridge after crossing it? Qin Shu asked with a smile. Ahem. I didn't want to disturb your work. Call me after dinner. I'll pick you up. Don't drink and drive. Qin Shu reminded her again. Huamin stretched out his hand and made an okay gesture, then left happily. He watched as a young lady left in a hurry. Little Yang knew that a young lady must have taken down the boss again. Needless to say, every time they faced off against each other, the boss never won. A young lady. You're leaving already? Little Yang smiled and flattered. All right, let's go. Bye-bye. After Huamin left, he drove straight back to South Hill Manor and took out a box of red wine from the wine cellar. Then, he would drive around the city to look for a suitable restaurant. After walking around for a while, he ended up at his 13 stores, which was also the busiest pedestrian street. One of them had been refurbished into a small Southeast Asian restaurant that specialized in Southeast Asian cuisine. Huamin hadn't eaten there before, so he was quite interested after he parked his car. He walked in. Welcome. How many people are there? Do you have a private room? We do upstairs. Please follow me. The waiter led Huamin upstairs. Huamin looked around and was very satisfied with the environment. After he finished his work at GK, Yang went to the address that Huamin sent him on WeChat. The two of them went to an elegant private room upstairs and ordered a few dishes. Then, Huamin took out a bottle of red wine and opened it. Sister Huamin, are we drinking again? Yang couldn't hold his liquor, so he was confused when he saw red wine. He vaguely remembered that time at the hospital. The two of them were dead drunk. He even cried his eyes out. Therefore, he still had lingering fears. I'm going to celebrate in advance for you. Your New Year's movie is going to be released soon. I wish you all the best at the box office. Huamin found an excuse and then poured an Yang and herself. Sister Huamin, you're secretly drinking again. Does the boss know? Yang asked carefully. Chapter 1270. Huamin was speechless. Little brat, why are you so nosy? Huamin looked at Yang with a smile. It's not that I'm nosy, it's just that the president is too scary when he's angry. I'm quite scared of President Qin. This was the truth. All the artists at GK weren't afraid of Qin Shu. Even the big shots, including Mo, Shui, were very cautious when they saw Qin Shu. This was because they all knew that the president was very strict with his employees and would never joke around with them. If you did a good job, okay, he would reward you with tons of yuan, luxury cars, and mansions. If you didn't do a good job, okay, he would really do something to you. Who didn't know that this young boss could be said to be swift and decisive in doing things? His methods were also particularly powerful. Even if Yang had a good relationship with Huamin, he wouldn't willfully use his connections. After all, he knew his president's temper. Don't worry, my husband is very gentle. Huamin continued to snicker. Yang was speechless. Gentle? The word gentle has nothing to do with our president. Plus, even if he's gentle, he's only with you. So let's be careful. Don't worry, my husband already approved. Open your heart and celebrate with me. Here, cheers. Huamin raised her wine glass and livened up the atmosphere. Yang wasn't prepared for this and began a drink with Huamin. Soon, the two of them finished 3 bottles of red wine. Red wine was actually very strong. It didn't feel good when they were drinking it, but after a while, they would feel dizzy, and Ai Yang's cheeks were a little red. He looked at Huamin's face across from him and felt his vision blur. Sister Huamin, I can't drink anymore. If I drink anymore, I'll be dead. This wine is too strong. And Ai Yang shook his head and admitted defeat. Huamin felt that it was not enough. He asked the waiter to bring a lot of ice cubes and poured it directly into the red wine. In this way, the taste improved and it didn't taste bad anymore. By the time the 4th bottle was finished, Ai Yang had obviously drunk enough and took the initiative to sing his new song to Huamin. After snorting for a while, little Yang asked excitedly, Sis, how is it? How is it? Does it sound good? Yes, not bad. It'll definitely be a hit. The album will sell well. Come, let's do another one to celebrate the popularity of your new song. Huamin raised his glass again. At this time, Ai Yang did not know how to refuse. He was quite cooperative and raised his glass as well. Come on, Sister Huamin. Cheers. Sure enough, this brat fell for it so easily. Huamin took the opportunity to take out her phone. She lowered her head and sent a text to Xie Wan. The text read, Big Sister Xie, come over now. I'm at 3rd Ring Pedestrian Street, 2nd floor of Nanyang Restaurant, room 208. I'm with Ai Yang. I plan to arrange for you guys to meet up later. After Xie Wan received the text, she was very excited. She struggled for a long time before replying to Huamin. Is he really willing to meet me? Come on, trust me. Huamin only replied 5 words. She believed that Xie Wan would come, and Ai Yang was in high spirits and kept urging her. Sis, stop playing with your phone. Come on, let's drink. Huh, there's no rush. Come on, let's take a picture first. Huamin took out her selfie stick and foolishly gave Ai Yang a thumbs up. After taking the picture, Huamin did a simple edit and posted it on her WeChat moments. Eating with a superstar, Eulalia. Does anyone want his autograph? In the picture, Ai Yang was pouting with the naughtiness of a young girl, and Ai Yang, on the other hand, stuck out his tongue and wore his hat askew, trying to look cool. As soon as the picture of the two was posted, it immediately caused a stir. Then, all of her WeChat moments were filled with envy and jealousy. Chapter 1271. Jixin, Sis, when I get back to China, introduce me to Ai Yang. I really like his songs. Zhu Lingling, wow, he's so handsome, I want to meet him. Gao Ran replied to Zhu Lingling. Are you looking for a beating? Zhu Lingling? Jiang Xiaowei. This restaurant has a nice ambience. Please give me the address. Huamin replied to Jiang Xiaowei. You're such a glutton. Assistant Chun Jia. Chief, is that an Ai Yang next to you? He's so handsome in real life. He's even more photogenic than on TV. Hua Xiqian, little sister Mian, your lip gloss is so pretty today. After reading Hua Xiqian's comment, Huamin took out a mirror and looked at his lips in frustration. He used dark blues No. 5 lipstick every day, but why was Hua Xiqian's style so different from others? Just as Huamin was wondering, another comment appeared below. Qin Shu, isn't this photo a little too close? Huamin replied to Qin Shu, and Ai Yang replied to Qin Shu, Boss, I'll be more careful next time. Please let me off the hook. After Ai Yang replied, he immediately looked up at Huamin. Sis, do you think the president will hate me for this and give me a hard time? Of course not. My husband isn't that petty, okay? Huamin immediately defended Qin Shu. You're not a kid anymore. Do you have a girl you like? I think it's time for you to fall in love. I don't want to, my fans would go crazy. And Ai Yang smiled. Fans aren't that crazy anymore. They'll support their idols if they fall in love, okay? Anyways, if there's someone you like, let me know and I'll ask the company to do it for you. Yes. And Ai Yang nodded. Seeing that the atmosphere was about right, Huamian suddenly changed the topic. Little brother, what do you think is the most important thing in a person's life? Why do you ask such a profound question? And Ai Yang raised his head in surprise. It's just a casual chat. I want to ask for your opinion. I think, to me, the most important thing in life is to have a healthy body. Money, status, and power are just worldly possessions. Only when I'm healthy can I enjoy everything. Ever since that illness, and Yang seemed to have thought things through a lot. Huamin was very satisfied with his answer and nodded. You're right. No matter how successful you are or how much money you have, you still have to be alive to spend it. The stupidest thing a person can do in life is to chase after unlimited wealth with their limited life and become a slave to money. Think about it. Even if you become the richest man in the world, you won't live to be 200 years old. Life is short, so having a healthy body is the most important thing. Speaking of which, your surgery was so successful, you really have to thank the person who provided you with a liver. Yeah, by the way, do you have that person's contact information? I was going to give him some of money as a thank you. After all, he helped me. Mian smiled. Listen to me first. Actually, liver donation is quite risky. Everyone's liver is only so big, and no one wants to donate such an important organ to someone unrelated to them. Don't you think it's strange that you were able to get a liver in such a short time? And it's such a good match? It's strange. I think I'm just too lucky. You're sure you're very lucky, because there's someone behind you who's willing to donate his liver to you. So who is he? Can you let me meet him? I really want to thank him. And Yang was a little moved. Do you really want to meet him? Huamin confirmed again. Yes. And Yang nodded heavily. Drink up, and I'll let you meet him right now. Right now. And Yang was a little surprised. Huamin nodded. Without another word, and Yang picked up the wine glass in front of him and downed it in one gulp. Then, Huamin got up, walked over, and yanked open the wooden door. Xiaowan was standing at the door, and she looked at Yang with a complicated expression. At this moment, Yang was quite shocked. He stared blankly at the woman at the door, unable to say a word. He was completely dumbfounded. Chapter 1272. She? Why is she here? After a while, Yang finally came back to his senses and asked in a daze. She is the person who donated her liver to you. Huamin finally decided to tell him the truth. Otherwise, there would be no reason for Yang to forgive a woman he once hated to the core. Yang obviously didn't believe it. It's her. Otherwise, do you think a stranger's liver would be so easily absorbed and not rejected? Only those who are close to each other, those who are related by blood, would do this. At this moment, Xiaowan's face was covered in tears. My child. I'm so sorry, Xiaowan said as she cried. She wasn't a particularly selfish woman. She just couldn't accept the fact that she was raped by Yang's biological father back then. Therefore, she took her anger out on Yang and ignored him all these years. However, Yang was her child after all. He was a piece of flesh that fell from her body. Even a vicious tiger wouldn't eat its cubs. No matter how heartless she was, she wouldn't ignore Yang's life and death. After talking to Huamin for so long, she suddenly felt like she wasn't human. Because of the hatred between the adults, she let the child suffer. At the time, she didn't know that donating her liver wasn't life-threatening. She thought that after donating her liver, she wouldn't be able to live. She donated her liver with the intention of dying, only wanting to atone for her sins. In her opinion, Shui had already recovered, so she had nothing to worry about. For this son of hers, even if she had to sacrifice her life, it was worth it. Impossible. That's impossible. And Yang was a little emotional. He kept shaking his head and saying that it was impossible. Huamin saw that it was about time, so she slowly said, Actually, the story goes like this. A woman was born with a hard life. She had someone she loved, but because she was raped by another man, she began her tragic life. Because of the fear of gossip, she married the man who raped her and gave birth to an innocent child. She was unhappy, and she was often beaten and scolded by drunk men. In the end, she couldn't bear such a hellish life, so she left. She neglected this innocent child, and the child hated his mother very much. He always thought that his mother's indifference to him was the reason for all these years of misfortune. Later, the child became successful, and the woman lived a lonely life with her son. When she found out that her successful son was seriously ill and needed a liver transplant, she didn't hesitate to donate her liver, hoping that he would forgive her. In this tragic story, the child was innocent, and the woman was pitiful. She could only blame fate for playing tricks on people. Fortunately, it's all in the past now. They're living a good life now, but in their hearts, they can't forget each other. Whether it's love or hate, it's destined to be a lifelong bond because they're mother and son, and blood is thicker than water. Stop talking, Sister Humin, stop talking. And Ayong hugged his head and squatted down. He seemed to have suffered a huge blow. He couldn't accept the truth for a moment. Siawan also cried and couldn't speak. She no longer hoped that Ayong would forgive her. She only hoped that the child would live a better life. No, I have to say this. Ayong, everyone makes mistakes, but it's best if you can learn from your mistakes. Siawan already knows that she's wrong, and she's already atoning for it with her actions. She thought that she would die if she donated her liver, but after hesitating for a long time, she still donated it. It's obvious that in her heart, you're more important than her life. In this world, nothing is more precious than life, because everyone only has one life. The only people who can sacrifice their lives for you are the ones you love the most. This is an indisputable fact. Humin looked at Ayong and said with a bit of heartache, Chapter 1273. Humin knew that Ayong might not be able to handle so much at once, but she was still willing to try and see if she could make a breakthrough. Would this mother and son be able to reconcile? It all depended on today's incident. So, she had to try her best. No, she doesn't love me at all. She doesn't care if I live or die. She only has eyes for her youngest son. She only loves him. And Ayong hugged his head and cried bitterly. He didn't want to admit this fact. Humin walked step by step to Ayang's side, then slowly squatted down. He raised his head and gently patted him on the back. As if he was comforting a child, he said, Shuai Shuai is just an innocent child. Like you, he was born into this world without knowing why. He didn't have a choice, and he just wanted to live a good life. Like you, he didn't have a father, and he only had a mother who depended on him. He's also the only person in this world who is related to you by blood other than your mother. I hope you can think about it from a different perspective. And Ayong didn't say anything, and he continued to cry. Humin continued, I believe you've heard this saying before. A tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. A son wants to be filial, but his parents are gone. I don't want you to realize that your family is gone by the time you wake up. Then, even if you regret it, there's no point in trying to change it. Actually, our lives are very short in this world. Whether you love or hate your family, you won't be able to see them again in your next life. As mother and son, you only have this life, but there's no next life. So, I hope you can let go of your previous obsession. Don't dwell on the past. Start over, give yourself a chance to live, and give your family a chance to be close to you. When a person was drunk, all their emotions were magnified. And Ayong had drunk so much, and his emotions were already complicated. After hearing what Humin said, he became even more agitated. However, he listened to Humin's words, especially when he said that the tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. A son wants to be filial, but his parents are gone. Imagine what would happen if he figured this out many years later. But by then, his mother would probably be gone. When Ayong thought of this, some things in his heart suddenly changed. He slowly stood up and looked at Siawan again. Why are you helping me? Because you're my child. Siawan was an honest person and didn't know how to say nice things. It was just a simple sentence, but it made Yang's heart turn upside down. Then why didn't you come looking for me all these years? When you're not doing well, I'm not doing well either. When you're doing well, I'm still not doing well. How can I still have a face to look for you? If it weren't for Shuai Shuai's kidney disease being so serious and his life being in danger, I wouldn't have asked you for money that time. Child, I'm sorry. I don't deserve to be your mother. After Siawan finished speaking, she burst into tears. Thinking back to the past few years, she and Shuai Shuai had not had it easy, but Yang had it even harder. In this cruel world, no one had an easy life. Yang looked at her with tears streaming down his cheeks. Finally, he knelt down on both knees and shouted at Siawan, Mom. Siawan's body trembled. Then, she couldn't help but rush over. She also knelt on the ground and hugged an Ai Yang's head as she cried, "Child, it's been hard on you all these years." Huamin was a person who was easily moved to tears. Under normal circumstances, he wouldn't cry. However, she was deeply affected by this scene. Then, tears streamed down her cheeks, looking at Ai Yang and Xiaowan, the mother and son, who had been together for so many years. She was truly happy for them. When she left Nanyang Tavern, she forgot to call Qin Chu. When she walked out and the cold wind blew, she suddenly remembered. She picked up her phone and was about to call. Suddenly, she saw a Rolls-Royce parked in front of her. The car window slowly rolled down. Hua Xiqian looked at Huamin and smiled. "Where are you going? I can give you a ride." "No need," Huamin refused. "Don't you want to see the old man? He's dying." Hua Xiqian's words surprised Huamin. Chapter 1274. Huamin then got into the car without a word. Huamin hadn't seen Hua Zhenghai in a long time. She didn't help him during the Hua Corporation Civil War, so Hua Zhenghai quickly lost. In the end, he was imprisoned by Hua Xiqian, so his life must have been very bleak. However, Huamin didn't think that he would die so soon. In the car, the two of them remained silent. Huamin didn't like Hua Xiqian, so she didn't sit in the front passenger seat. Instead, she sat in the back. "Did you drink?" Hua Xiqian asked with a smile. "How did you know?" "It smells really strong." Hua Xiqian's car reeked of alcohol, but Huamin didn't smell it. Huamin didn't say anything. "Qin Chu asked you to drink in the middle of the night? And with another man? How do you know it was another man?" Huamin found it strange that Hua Xiqian knew everything and was as good as a half-immortal. "I saw an Ai Yang sports car at the entrance of the restaurant you just came out of." Huamin, fine. She had to admit that Hua Xiqian was terrifyingly meticulous. "So Qin Chu isn't jealous? An Ai Yang is like a little brother to me. Why would Qin Chu be jealous?" Huamin rolled her eyes at him. Hua Xiqian smiled, but didn't say anything. "How are you doing after your wedding? Are you happy? How's Song Yisher?" Huamin suddenly asked nosily. "She's doing great." "Really?" Huamin obviously didn't believe him. With a newlywed wife like Song Yisher, would he really have a good life? "Of course. I said that I'm doing well. As for how she feels, I've never asked her." Hua Xiqian smiled meaningfully. Song Yisher looked at him as if he was a ghost. She wished she could run away. Hua Xiqian was not someone who would spoil a woman. He would hit a woman anytime and anywhere. And he could pull out his belt at any time. Song Yisher would never forget that feeling for the rest of her life, about 20 minutes after the car had left. The car stopped at a remote villa. Huamin looked around. This should be the northeastern part of the city, an area that the government had yet to develop. The Hua family had a piece of land here that had never been used. Later on, Hua Zhenghai built a mansion for himself. It was supposed to be used to raise his mistress, but now it was used to imprison him. It was ironic. What's wrong with him? Huamin asked worriedly as they walked to the door. His body wasn't good to begin with, and he didn't control himself. He thought about having a son all day long and overindulge himself. There was nothing he could do. Huamin was speechless. "Don't look at me like that. I didn't do anything to him. No matter how bad he is, he's still my adoptive father. I'm not cold-blooded enough to do anything to him." Hua Xiqian explained, as if he was trying to distance himself from the blame. Huamin didn't say anything and followed him inside. "Sir, you're here." An old woman in her 50s opened the door. She was dressed plainly, and her hair was a little white. "Misham." Hua Xiqian nodded and led Huamin inside. "How's he doing today?" Hua Xiqian asked casually. "Master, he isn't doing well. He only ate a little porridge the entire day, and then he threw it all up. Dr. Wang already came over to inject him with an 4 drip. Okay, I got it." Then, Hua Xiqian led Huamin to the second floor. Inside the master bedroom, Hua Zhenghai was lying on a large ivory bed, looking very haggard. He was even on an 4 drip. After not seeing him for more than a month, Huamin didn't expect him to become like this. He was so skinny that his cheeks were sunken in. "You should go see him. I don't think he wants to see me, so I won't go over." Hua Xiqian stood at the door. Huamin felt a little uncomfortable, so she slowly walked toward Hua Zhenghai. Mr. Hua. She thought for a moment and decided that this was probably the most appropriate way to address him. Hua Zhenghai slowly opened his eyes and looked at Huamin. You're here? Chapter 1275. Huamin nodded. Sit down. Hua Zhenghai struggled to speak, and his hands trembled. Huamin sat down quietly on the chair in front of his bed. Are you okay? Huamin wasn't lying. As a doctor, she couldn't bear to see a stranger so sick. That's it. You saw it yourself. I don't think I can hold on much longer. Don't say that. Take care of yourself. You're always so distant with me. The truth is, you hate me, don't you? Because of what I did to you and your mother. No, I don't hate you. I don't have the right to hate you. Hua Zhenghai was a little confused by Huamin's words. He didn't know why she said that. Huamin slowly leaned over and whispered into his ear. Mr. Hua, the truth is, I wanted to tell you a long time ago, but I never had the right opportunity. Since I'm here today, I'll tell you. Did you know? I didn't take a single cent of the Hua Corporation shares, nor did I spend a single cent of your money. Do you know why? Hua Zhenghai shook his head. Because I'm not your daughter. What? Hua Zhenghai was shocked. I'm not your daughter, but I'm also not my mother and Jingda's daughter. I'm not their child. Hua Zhenghai didn't know what to say. You might be surprised, but I was too when I first found out the truth. So now I have some questions for you. You have to tell me the truth. Okay, ask away. After the initial shock, Hua Zhenghai seemed to have calmed down. I heard that you did a DNA test for me. So the doctor and the test report, did you get yourself? No, Jingda gave it to me. The doctor who gave me the report was my former personal doctor. Jingda had been my chauffeur for many years, so he knew him. We went to him, and he gave me the report, Guning said. Didn't you have any suspicions at the time? Huamin asked. Yes, I did, so I called my personal doctor again. He said the results were correct. So your private doctor might have been bribed by Jingda. So they colluded. Huamin thought about this segment. Just as he had expected, everything was controlled by Uncle Jing. Then, I heard that you gave Uncle Jing 200,000 yuan to get rid of my mother. Did you really give him the money? Yeah, I gave him cash, and he personally came to the company's finance department to get it. At the time, I thought that if he took the money, your mother wouldn't continue to cause trouble for me and continue to expose things from the past. That was the end of it, Hua Zhenghai carefully recalled. But Jingda didn't give the money to my mother. I've confirmed with my mother that she didn't receive such a huge sum of money. Hua Zhenghai. So it's very likely that Jingda used the money to bribe those people. But why would he do that? Hua Zhenghai was a little surprised. He hid my identity. He didn't want anyone, including my mother, to know that I'm not your child or hers. But Rome was pregnant at the time. If you're not my child, then where's my child? Hua Zhenghai was sure that Yang Meirong was pregnant with his child because they spent a lot of time together during that time. But if Huamin wasn't his child, then where was the real Hua family child? Where did it go? Chapter 1276. I'm not sure. I've been looking into it. I'm afraid that Jingda is the only one who knows the truth, but he's already dead. Huamin said calmly. Hua Zhenghai fell silent. I'm not your daughter, so I won't take a single cent from the Hua Corporation. That's my principle. You came to me for help, but I have no reason to help you. I don't want to get involved in the Hua family's internal conflict. I know. Hua Zhenghai sighed. He thought about how ridiculous his life was. Other than Hua Yanyan, he didn't have any biological children. Not Hua Xiqian, not Hua Si, and not even Huamin. This was karma. Thinking about Hua Yanyan, he suddenly asked, have you heard from Yanyan recently? Can you ask her to come and see me one last time? I don't think I can make it. Huamin hesitated for a moment and then slowly said, I saw Hua Yanyan a few days ago. She got married. Married? Hua Zhenghai was a little surprised. Recently, the Hua family had undergone a lot of changes, and it seemed like everyone's fate was changing every day. Yes, she married a relatively ordinary man and lived a relatively ordinary life, but I feel that the man treated her quite well. That's good, that's good. I don't think Hua Xiqian would be able to get Hua Yanyan to come and see you. So, are you sure you want her to come? Hua Zhenghai thought about it and felt like Huamin had a point. Take care of yourself. I have to go now. After speaking, Huamin stood up. "Mian," he suddenly shouted. Huamin turned around. Hua Zhenghai struggled to take off the jade ring on his left thumb. Then, he handed it over. "Give this to your mom as a memento. Hua Zhenghai, have had so many women in my life, but only a few of them were true to me. Jiang Hong and I got married because of our mutual benefits. Not only did we not have feelings for each other, we even saw each other as a thorn in our side. I doted on that bitch Shun Jiani for her entire life, but she heartlessly betrayed me and schemed against me. Your mom was the only one who truly loved me. Unfortunately, she missed the opportunity. There's no need for that, right? Huamin didn't want it. Take it. It's the last thing I have. I know she's not short of money. I just want to keep it as a souvenir." Hua Zhenghai insisted. Huamin couldn't resist, so he carefully took the jade thumb ring. "I'll pass it on to her. Mian, I have 2 things to tell you. Although you're not my daughter, I think we're destined to be together. Go ahead." Huamin quietly looked at Hua Zhenghai, who was on the verge of death. First of all, Jingda isn't an honest man. He's not as honest as he looks. He's very shrewd and has lied to me for many years. I didn't realize it until later. Now that you mention it, he even hid your identity. I don't know where he hid my child. If you have a chance to find her in the future, I hope you can bring her to my grave to see me. After all, she's my child. If you want me to, I will." Huamin nodded. Second, you have to be careful of Hua Xiqian. He is someone who's capable of doing anything. You and Qinshu have to be careful. I think he might do something bad to you. I know. Huamin nodded. When Huamin finally walked out of the room, her heart was heavy. She carefully put the ring away, put it in her bag, and walked out. "Already? MHM. Do you want me to drive you?" Hua Xiqian chuckled. "It's okay. I sent Qinshu a WeChat message. He's coming to pick me up." Huamin refused Hua Xiqian's offer to escort her. When she walked out of the mansion, Qinshu's car arrived as well. He drove the company's black Audi A8. Huamin immediately got into the car and drove away. Hua Xiqian smiled with a complicated expression on his face. Then, he turned around and went upstairs. "What are you doing here? Get out." Hua Zhenghai cursed with difficulty. "You old thing, you're still causing trouble for me, even when you're about to die." Then Hua Xiqian grabbed a pillow and walked over. "What do you want?" Hua Zhenghai's face was pale, and his body trembled as he watched Hua Xiqian approach him. Chapter 1277. You've lived long enough. I'll send you on your way. Hua Xiqian smiled evilly. "Bastard, how dare you?" Hua Zhenghai never thought that Hua Xiqian would dare to attack him so openly. He wanted to fight back, but there was nothing he could do. He was injected all day and had no strength left in his body. Hua Xiqian walked over and looked at Hua Zhenghai one last time. "Leave the Hua Corporation to me. You can go in peace." "Dad." After speaking, Hua Xiqian lifted a pillow with both hands and covered Hua Zhenghai's face with it. Hua Zhenghai struggled with all his might, but it was to no avail. In less than 3 minutes, Hua Zhenghai stopped struggling. After that, his hands slowly fell. Hua Xiqian removed the pillow and looked at Hua Zhenghai's pale face. He pulled the blanket up a little. "Dad, have a good dream." He smiled faintly and slowly walked out of the room. When he reached the door, he raised his hand, turned on the switch, and took out a small listening device. Then, he went downstairs. "Sir, you're not staying for dinner?" The maid asked. "No, my dad's asleep. Don't disturb him. Call me if you need anything." "Okay, sir." Then, Hua Xiqian drove his Rolls-Royce Welcome out of the suburban mansion. After Huamin got into the car, he didn't say a word. Qinshu raised his hand and touched her face. "Are you in a bad mood?" "Hua Zhenghai is dying." "Yeah, isn't that normal?" Hua Xiqian never lets go of the people he wants to deal with. It's his style to eliminate the source of trouble. Qinshu thought that it was normal. It would be strange if Hua Xiqian was willing to let Hua Zhenghai live and feed him. "I told him about that." "You did? Aren't you afraid that Hua Xiqian has planted a bug in the room?" Hua Mian shook her head. "I'm not afraid. I think Huasiqi knows about my past anyway, so I might as well tell Hu Zhenghai everything. He also confirmed some things from back then. What is it? Uncle Jing isn't that simple. I'm also curious, if he brought me back to pretend to be a child of the Hua family, then where did the real child go? This matter can't be investigated in a short period of time. Don't worry. Qin Shu reached out his hand and placed it on the back of Hua Min's hand to comfort him. Right now, the biggest worry in Hua Min's heart was the mystery of his birth. Rick also told Qin Shu to stop investigating. All the clues about Hua Min's background had been cut off, and all the people who had investigated the matter had disappeared. This was not a good sign. However, Qin Shu had been secretly investigating this matter because he didn't want Hua Min to have any regrets. I'm fine. Honey, you don't have to worry about me. Hua Min hugged Qin Shu's arm with both hands. You're speaking so clearly. Are you sober now? Qin Shu was both angry and amused. I think I'm sober now. After all this, it was already midnight. Hua Min didn't feel dizzy or nauseous anymore. It seemed like his alcohol tolerance was also increasing. After returning to South Hill Manor, the two of them went to bed early. The next morning, the headlines spread throughout Sea City. Hua Zhenghai, the chairman of the Hua Corporation, passed away in his private mansion last night. Hua Min's heart skipped a beat. Although they weren't related by blood, hearing the news of his death was still heartbreaking. Hua Min had just gotten out of bed to wash her face when she received a call from her mother. Mian, did you see the news? Yeah, I just saw it. Is it true? Is he really dead? Yang Meirong's voice trembled. Mom, wait for me. I'll go see you right away. Sky Blessing Court. Yang Meirong grabbed onto Hua Min's hand. Mian, what happened? How'd it happen so fast? I didn't hear anything about him being hospitalized. How did he die? Chapter 1278. Mom, he's really dead. Hua Min held his mother's hand tightly, but he could feel that his mother's fingers had no warmth at all, no matter how much she hated him. She was once deeply in love with Hua Zhenghai, so she must be feeling terrible right now, right? Yang Meirong stumbled and took a few steps back. She lost her balance and almost fell down. Luckily, Hua Min reacted quickly and immediately supported her. Mom, are you okay? How did he? Yang Meirong choked up. Mom, he was already in poor health, and now that his business is a mere figurehead and Huasiqian has all the power, he might have been too anxious. Hua Min comforted his mother. That old bastard, he really has a good life. He didn't suffer much, and he passed away. He still owes me so much. I thought I could see him in a more miserable state in his later years and mock him, but he didn't even give me the chance. Yang Meirong didn't mean what she said, Mom. I saw him yesterday. You saw him? Yang Meirong was a little surprised. Hua Min nodded. Yeah, when I went to see him yesterday, he wasn't in a good state. He was on a 4-drip and didn't eat much. Did he say anything to you? He said he was sorry. What's the point of saying that now? Yang Meirong sat on the sofa and wiped her tears. Hua Min took out a jade ring from his bag and handed it to his mother. This is... Yang Meirong looked at the ring and hesitated. This is something he always carried around with him. He told me to give it to you as a memento. That bastard. He didn't even let me rest in peace. Who wants to remember him? Yang Meirong cried even harder as she took the jade ring from his hand. It seemed like she still couldn't accept the news that Hua Zhenghai was dead. I'm going to the funeral with Qin Shu tomorrow. Do you want to come? Hua Min asked quietly. Yang Meirong didn't say anything, but her tears continued to fall. It's good to send him on his last journey. Even if he dies, let's forget everything that happened in the past, Mom. Okay, I'll go with you. In the end, no one knew if it was because of Hua Min's words or if it was because Yang Meirong had thought things through. She nodded, indicating that she wanted to attend the funeral with them. The next morning, Hua Zhenghai's funeral was held. A long line of people walked out of the Hua residence as the eldest son, Huasiqian, held his father's portrait and walked at the front. Behind him were Hua Min and Huinyan, both wearing white mourning cloths on their heads. The truth was, Hua Min wasn't obligated to wear a mourning cloth for Hua Zhenghai. After all, She wasn't his daughter to begin with. However, outsiders didn't know about Hua Min's background, so she still had to attend as Hua Zhenghai's daughter. Jiang Hong looked sad. She walked slowly with the help of two maids. Qin Chu stayed by Yang Merong's side, carefully taking care of her. Today's weather was exceptionally good. Although it was cold, they could see the blue sky and white clouds that they hadn't seen in a long time. Everyone was dressed in black, and they marched from the Hua family mansion to the cemetery. There were a total of 100 black luxury cars. It was quite a grand occasion. What was rare was that Song Yisher also came. She walked beside Hua Xiqian. She was expressionless. She didn't care about Hua Min, no matter how many people died. However, she had to be careful of the media. Therefore, her father was right. She had to pretend for a while. Song Yisher and Hua Min looked at each other. She turned her head away and ignored Hua Min. She didn't have any intention of speaking. Hua Min didn't want to talk to her either, just like that. The group of people sent Hua Zhenghai's body to the North Mountain Cemetery. They buried him next to the elders of the Hua family, which was the Hua family's ancestral grave. It was already noon by the time they were done. Hua Xiqian set up 100 tables at a 5-star hotel and invited guests to a funeral banquet. Hua Min wasn't in the mood. After sending his mother home with Qin Chu, he asked for half a day off to rest at home. Qin Chu, on the other hand, went to the company after sending Hua Min home. Hua Min fainted in South Hill Manor for the entire afternoon. When she woke up, it was almost dark. She put on her robe and went downstairs to warm herself in front of the fireplace. The north wind in the depths of winter couldn't be described as cold. It could freeze people to death. South Hill Manor had plenty of heating, but because the living room was too big, it was still a little cold. Hua Min sat in front of the fireplace, warming herself while drinking milk. Suddenly, her phone rang. She opened it and saw that it was a WeChat message from Jiang Xiaowei. She said, "Mian, Su Yu is back." Chapter 1279. Oh, Hua Min's reaction was relatively calm. Su Yu hadn't been gone for a long time. She heard that he was only down south for about 20 days. Now that he calculated the days, it was almost time, so it wasn't strange for him to come back. "Let's have dinner together tonight. Are you coming?" "I'm not going. You guys go ahead." As long as Su Yu was around, Hua Min would still subconsciously avoid him. She didn't want her husband to feel uncomfortable. She also didn't want Su Yu to have the wrong impression that she was interested in him. Flirting wasn't in her character. She always drew a clear line between kindness and hatred. On the other side, Jiang Xiaowei hung up the phone. Tang Chuan quickly asked sister-in-law, "What did Hua Min say? Is she coming?" "I told you she wasn't coming." "Give me the money. Give me the money." Jiang Xiaowei reached out her hand. Tang Chuan helplessly took out 1,000 yuan from his wallet and handed it over. Wei Liao had just changed and walked out. "What money?" "I made a bet with sister-in-law that Hua Min would come, but I lost." Tang Chuan sighed. "Is your brain fried? Do you even need to bet? Even if you think with your ass, you know Hua Min won't come. She's been avoiding Lord Su, you know that. But Lord Su hasn't been back for almost a month. Even if they're normal friends, they would still come to welcome Lord Su, right?" Tang Chuan argued. "Too bad they're not normal friends." Jiang Xiaowei happily put the 1,000 yuan into her bag. The advantage of being friends with rich people was that they could cheat money out of them anytime. Jiang Xiaowei made a lot of money in a year just by making bets. "All right, stop wasting time. Let's go and see what Lord Su looks like now." Tang Chuan was the first to turn and leave. The three of them sat in the RV driven by Wei Liao's driver. They went to the Phoenix restaurant together. Wei Liao had already reserved a place to welcome Su Yu. As soon as they reached the entrance, they saw a pure white sports car driving towards them from afar. Then, with a creak, it stopped at the entrance of the restaurant. Tang Chuan couldn't hold back his excitement. He jumped out of the RV, looked at the logo, and exclaimed, "Fuck! Bugatti Veyron, limited edition? Lord Su, can you not be so awesome?" So you opened the car door and got out. It was late winter, but he only wore a casual shirt. The design was very novel and unique. It made Su Yu look even more attractive. Only Lord Su can afford a $50 million car in the whole of Sea City. Wei Liao exclaimed as he carried Jiang Xiaowei out of the car. Not necessarily. The guy at GK can afford it too, Tang Chuan added. No one will think you're mute if you don't talk. Su Yu's face darkened. Hearing Qin Shu's name as soon as he came back was quite depressing. Then, the four of them entered the restaurant and went straight to the VIP room on the top floor. Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, and Su Yu gave each other a manly hug. I think you're tanned. Jiang Xiaowei smiled as she looked at Su Yu. The South China Sea is sunny every day, 34.5 degrees. Of course I'm tanned. To be honest, even a polar bear would turn into a black bear spirit. Su Yu said in all seriousness. His slightly tanned skin looked even more masculine. Ha. Lord Su, you're being naughty again. Tang Chuan wasn't easily amused. I'll order, you guys talk. Jiang Xiaowei picked up the menu and flipped through it. The three men began to chat. Lord Su, did you get anything from your trip to the South China Sea? Tang Chuan asked with a mischievous smile. What did I get? So you knew there was a hidden meaning in his words. Tang Chuan licked his lips sneakily. Of course he's asking about women. For what he said, what else could it be? Wei Liao added. Chapter 1280. Su Yu poured himself a glass of beer and lamented, Let me tell you guys, Nanhai is a godforsaken place. How can there be a woman in that godforsaken place? That's where the military is stationed. Even the military dogs in that godforsaken place are male. How can there be a woman? Tang Chuan, Wei Liao, Jiang Xiaowei. Then the three of them laughed in unison. Then it must be hard for you to rely on your own hands to solve your biological problems. Tang Chuan smiled seductively. Go away, don't talk nonsense. Dr. Jiang is here. So he was a little embarrassed. It's okay, you guys tell me. I'll take a short video for you guys. Maybe it'll go viral if I post it on WeChat. Jiang Xiaowei waved her phone around. No. Sister-in-law, don't post it on WeChat. If my dad sees me, he'll teach me a lesson. Tang Chuan wasn't as free these days. His dad told him to go to the company to study, so he slacked off. He would clock in the morning and clock out again when he got off work. Did anything big happen at home? So you downed a glass of beer in one gulp. He immediately felt great. Yeah, Song Yisher and Hua Xiqin got married. Did you know? Tang Chuan said in a teasing tone. I heard. Su Yu nodded. Although he was thousands of miles away, he paid attention to the news in the city every day. Song Yisher and Hua Xiqin got married. It was such a big deal that the media all over the country reported on it. How could he not know? The old man of the Hua Corporation passed away. The funeral was held this morning, Wei Liao added. Yeah, I heard someone talking about it when I got off the plane. Hua Xiqin is amazing. Now that there's no one left at the Hua Corporation, he's sitting on top of it all. Su Yu didn't like Hua Xiqin. He always felt that Hua Xiqin was a person who was always smiling on the surface, but on the inside, he was full of evil. Therefore, even when Hua Xiqin occasionally took the initiative to talk to him about business, he always ignored him. That's all. Oh, there's one more thing about Hua Min. Do you want to hear it? Tang Chuan asked. Su Yu, awkwardly, he lowered his head. If you don't want to hear it, then I won't tell you. Tang Chuan purposely, how dare you? Hurry up and tell me. So you couldn't hold it in anymore. Tang Chuan's, Hua Xiqin B, Hua's, Hua Min, Hua. Jiang Xiaowei was puzzled. There hadn't been any news about Mian lately. She didn't know what Tang Chuan was going to reveal. Hua Min, I don't know what's in his head, but he's a psycho. She just received the 2016 Most Outstanding Doctor Award from the International Red Cross Society. Huh? When did that happen? How come I didn't know about it? Jiang Xiaowei froze. I don't think she knows about it herself. Didn't I date a girl from Finland before? She's a doctor too, so she's very interested in this area. I wanted to find common topics with her, so I followed some of the official medical departments on IN. When I refreshed the page this morning, I saw the official announcement. They probably haven't notified Hua Min yet, right? Or maybe they did, but she doesn't understand English. Who knows? What kind of award is it? Is it of little value? Wei Liao didn't understand. Jiang Xiaowei explained. It's not of little value. It's a very important award. A while ago, Hua Min wrote an article and we spent the night looking for some specialized terms to translate and mail it to her. It's an article that calls for the world to pay attention to autistic children. It contains a lot of academic and personal opinions from Huamin, and it might have been accepted by the officials. She's really good. Wei Liao nodded, expressing his appreciation. This is nothing. Previously, the China Medical Association gave her the highest achievement award as a doctor, the Chinese Doctor Award. There were also awards and trophies, but she didn't show them off. Her assistant put them all up in her office, but the hospital put up a banner to celebrate her. I heard that President Wu gave her a personal bonus of 500,000 yuan. I suspect that Huamin isn't even from Earth. Tang Chuan said. Then, he looked at Su Yu and asked, Lord Su, what do you think about this? Chapter 1281. Su Yu's gaze was slightly complicated. He pretended to be calm and replied, She's pretty good. She's pretty good. Perfunctory. Haha. Is it that hard for you to evaluate Huamin? Tang Chuan laughed. I also think that Lord Su has become a lot more shy after coming back this time. Wei Liao looked at Su Yu with a thoughtful gaze. Jiang Xiaowei laughed on the side. The three of them having a gathering was really hilarious. Each of them had a more sarcastic mouth than the other. They never had a pleasant conversation. Basically, unless they didn't speak, they would either be sarcastic or mocking. They could be called the worst friends. The key was that they had known each other for too long. It wasn't an exaggeration at all. They could really start from when they were naked. Therefore, under normal circumstances, Su Yu wouldn't take Tang Chuan and Wei Liao's words to heart. He wouldn't really get angry, because he had gotten used to it over the years. Shine my ass. Aren't you guys making things difficult for me? How am I supposed to evaluate Huamin? In my eyes, she's great in every way. But I don't know if you guys think the same way. Su Yu spoke his mind very generously. Ioyo, great in every way. Lord Su, you really? I don't know what kind of potion Huamin gave you. You're really hopeless. I thought that after you came back from the South, you would forget the past and start over. It seems like you went to the South Sea for nothing. Tang Chuan continued to mock him. Su Yu looked innocent. When did I say that I would forget the past after going to the South Sea? Your imagination is really rich. Also, I was just accompanying my grandfather for a walk, not drinking Ming Po's soup at the Bridge of Helplessness. Don't make it sound so ridiculous, okay? Haha, okay, I won't mock you. Anyway, if you still like Huamin, then so be it. I think you still have a long way to go. Qin Shu shouldn't be too arrogant. Who knows who will be the most glorious one day? Tang Chuan's jingles were so good that Jiang Xiaowei was almost speechless. All right, stop bragging. Come on, let's drink. It wasn't that Su Yu didn't want to talk about Huamin, but he didn't want to talk about Huamin as a joke. Because he decided to keep Huamin in his heart from now on. If I can't forget, then I won't. If I like him, then I'll continue to like him, be like a man. He wasn't guilty. The guilty thing was that he was a step too late. In Huamin's world, he appeared too late. He was a full 7 years later than Qin Shu, which was why he lost so badly, but it didn't matter. Su had thought a lot about this trip down south. Liking someone didn't necessarily mean possessing her. Actually, for Su Yu, it was already good enough to see her occasionally and hear about her recent situation from his friends. When he heard that she had won an award, he was happy for her. When he heard that she was in trouble, he was able to help her. When he heard that she was in a bad mood, his imagination would run wild. No matter when and where you were, there would always be someone who touched your heart. It would make you feel that ever since you had her in your life, life had become colorful, and even tomorrow was worth looking forward to. That was it. Su Yu left for more than 20 days. He had just returned and was in a very good mood. He also drank a lot. Tang Chuan had always been a good drinker, and he rarely got drunk. He was the kind of person who was born with talent and training. Jiang Xiaowei also relaxed the policy for Wei Liao, which was rare, and allowed him to drink more. After all, Lord Su was back, and today was special. Thus, the few of them opened their hearts and drank a lot of beer. After a while, one box was gone. Su Yu seemed to want more, and asked the waiter to bring another box. Jiang Xiaowei secretly took a photo of the three of them and posted it on her WeChat moments. Then, she added the words, "Lord Su is back, the long-awaited atmosphere. These three have become drunkards, please adopt them." Chapter 1282. Huamin was playing on his phone at South Hill Manor when he saw Jiang Xiaowei's post. Suyu had his head lowered, and only the side of his face could be seen. His right hand had long, slender fingers, and between his index and middle fingers was a cigarette. Perhaps it was because she rarely hung out with Suyu, so she hadn't seen him smoke much. To be honest, he was quite handsome. A person like Suyu was the best in terms of looks, ability, personality, and wealth. He was the best of the best. If it weren't for Qin Shu, Huamin might have been tempted. After all, Suyu treated her so well. However, there were no ifs in life, only consequences and results. Now that she had someone better, she wouldn't be so greedy. She generously liked Jiang Xiaowei's WeChat post. Jiang Xiaowei smiled and didn't say anything. She didn't tell Suyu that Huamin liked her post either. This was because Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling were both fans of Mr. Qin. They were both envious of the love between childhood sweethearts, so they especially supported Qin Shu and Huamin as a super couple. During the banquet, the three of them drank a lot, and the atmosphere reached its peak. Tang Chuan complained, "Look at the three of us. Why are our lives so twisted? We're almost like monks. We haven't had sex in a long time, right?" Wei Liao froze and looked at Tang Chuan with disdain. "No way. Lord Su has someone in his heart, so he's been abstinent for a long time. Xiao Wei is pregnant, so I don't dare to do anything. You're a free man. How can you be like us? It's normal for someone like you to change every night. Don't mention it. I haven't been feeling well recently, so I went to a Chinese doctor to recuperate." Tang Chuan looked bitter. "That's what you get for showing off." Wei Liao smiled proudly. Suyu also smiled, but didn't say anything, and Machem, "I can't harm my body like that in the future. My body is mine, but I can't have as many women as I want. I need to take good care of myself." Now, do you know why so many ancient emperors died prematurely in their middle age? Xianfeng, Tongji, Guangxu, and the others all died at a young age. Suyu asked meaningfully. Jiang Xiaowei almost spat out a mouthful of mineral water. "You guys are so dirty." Even Dr. Jiang, who had always been extremely calm, wanted to complain. "Honey, they're just like that. You have to get used to it." Wei Liao hugged Jiang Xiaowei's shoulder and comforted her. By the time the three of them finished drinking, it was almost 11 p.m. When they walked out of the restaurant, they were all a little drunk. "Lord Su, we'll give you a ride first," Tang Chuan offered. "It's okay, I'm fine. I can drive slowly back." Suyu refused and got into the white Bugatti. Wei Liao looked at Suyu's pace and said to Tang Chuan, "Don't worry, Lord Su can drink a lot. Even though he drank a little more than usual, he can still drive. He knows his limits." Tang Chuan was relieved to hear Wei Liao's words. Then, the three of them left in the RV. Wei Liao and his wife drove Tang Chuan back to his mansion before going home. Suyu, on the other hand, drove his sports car slowly around the city. For some reason, after the fun, he felt a little depressed. A black BYD sped past Suyu. Then, the car owner curiously slowed down and looked back at the luxury car behind him. "Fuck, is it a Bugatti Veyron? The legendary car that cost tens of millions? But why is it so slow? Even a Bugatti can't compare to my BYD." Not more than 3 seconds had passed since he finished speaking. He heard the roar of the engine, followed by a vroom. An indistinct white figure whizzed past with a whoosh. He didn't even see what it was. When he realized what was going on, he focused his eyes and took a closer look. The Bugatti was already gone. Would Suyu drive a sports car without speeding? That was impossible. Even though the alcohol was boiling in his blood, his mind was still very clear. Suyu sped all the way to the most scenic mountaintop in Sea City. After parking the car, he got out and leaned against the sports car while smoking. He took out his phone and quickly entered the number that he couldn't be more familiar with. Right now, he really wanted to hear her voice. Chapter 1283. Just as he was about to dial, Suyu suddenly had the urge to play a prank on her. So he used a phone app he downloaded on his phone to hide his number before dialing. Huomin's phone rang. She looked at the messy number and didn't think it was a normal phone number. However, it kept ringing, so she hesitated for a moment before picking it up. Hello. Huomin's crisp voice came from the other end of the phone. Suyu felt his heart race. Then he calmed himself down and deliberately said, Hello, Miss Hua. I'm from XX Personal Insurance Company. Would you like to buy insurance for yourself? Huomin froze for a second before realizing what he was talking about. She asked, So, the big boss of Imperial Star Entertainment isn't the CEO anymore and is selling insurance? Suyu, how did you know it was me? Suyu suddenly felt that it was a waste of time. She guessed it right away. He thought that Huomin would immediately hang up when she heard that it was an insurance company. Because your voice is quite recognizable. You can't fool me. Huomin smiled. Okay, genius, I'm impressed. Suyu smiled calmly. His tone also became much more relaxed. Huomin was pleasantly surprised that she could immediately recognize his voice. At least in Huomin's eyes, he wasn't a passerby. I heard that you just came back today? Yeah. Suyu nodded. How are you? Are you okay? I'm good, but I'm a lot more tanned. Suyu smiled. The situation in the South China Sea has been quite tense recently. Your grandpa sent such a huge military commander over. I thought there was going to be a war. A war? Suyu froze. Yeah, we're dealing with the Philippines. It's their fault for coveting our South China Sea territory. You're concerned about national affairs? Suyu asked with interest. Everyone is responsible for the rise and fall of the world. Huomin smiled. Then don't worry, there won't be a war. That poor country isn't worth the effort of our great country. If we really wanted to destroy it, would we need my grandpa's army? With the help of the Air Force and Navy, it wouldn't even take an hour. Huomin smiled but didn't say anything. How have you been? Suyu asked awkwardly. Yeah, I'm good. I heard you won a foreign award. Suyu didn't remember what award Tang Chuan was talking about, so he asked vaguely. Okay. Huomin nodded. Congratulations. Thank you. Huomin was still polite. Hua S's twoses. Suyu knew that if they continued to chat, there would be nothing to talk about and it would only make things more awkward, so he hung up the phone. So after hanging up, Suyu looked at the photo on his phone's screensaver with a gentle gaze. If Huomin was his girlfriend and was always by his side, would he die of happiness? He had never envied anyone in his life. It was always others who envied him. But at this moment, he was especially envious of Qin Shu because he could have Huomin so openly. To Suyu, this was such a luxury. Suyu used to think that he was super rich, but now he felt that Huomin was a luxury that he could never afford. He put his phone in his pocket, put out his cigarette, walked to the edge of the cliff at the top of the mountain, and suddenly shouted into the open space, Huomin, I love you. Huomin, I really love you. Huomin, do you know that I, Suyu, love you very much? After shouting 3 times, Suyu finally shouted out all the words that had accumulated in his heart for so long. He used this method to vent the emotions in his heart. But could Huomin hear him? After venting, Suyu felt much better. He drove home to sleep. The next morning, at the headquarters of Imperial Star Entertainment, as soon as Suyu entered the president's office, his assistant, and hurried in and reported mysteriously, President Su, something big happened. Chapter 1284. What's the matter? Don't make a fuss. Suyu had always been a fearless person, so there was really nothing that could make him feel like the sky was falling. Of course, Huomin's matter was an exception. Madam came a few days ago, and then she personally ordered a beauty audition in the name of the company. It's called The Most Beautiful Girl in Sea City, and now the auditions are over. There are 20,000 people from all over the country who signed up, and now there are less than 32 left after the screening. Madam decided to go through the auditions and finally choose a champion. So you didn't think much of it. As an entertainment company, don't we often do such talent shows to create celebrities? What's so strange about it? But this time is different. I was a little troubled. Suyu walked to his desk indifferently and quickly turned on his laptop. What's different? This time, not only do we look at looks, but we also look at education, IQ, personality, family background. So you raised his head and looked at him in confusion. So, Madam isn't doing a talent show for the company. She's obviously choosing a concubine for you. So you almost vomited blood. Choosing a concubine for him? Since when was he willing to do such a melodramatic thing? Who said so? So you looked at him and asked. Although Madam didn't say it explicitly, we can all see it. Normally, our company's talent show would be covered by the media, but this time, it's super low-key. Madam said that she wants to choose the final champion in a low-key manner. And then, I think that person will be Madam's ideal daughter-in-law. Suyu was speechless after hearing In's words. Suyu fell completely silent. Suyu liked his mother very much because Lady Su was very sensible and was a very warm mother. She would never force her child to do things that he didn't like. He didn't expect his mother to come to the company while he was down south. And they even arranged such a strange show. The most beautiful girl? 32 out of 20,000 people, what a talent. All right, I got it. So, do you still want to continue this activity? Even the assistant, Shaolin, found it ridiculous. Let's stop for a while. Let me talk to my mother first before we make a decision. Suyu was drunk last night and came home late, so he didn't have time to talk to his mother. Who would have thought that the old lady would create such a mess? Suyu felt a headache just thinking about it. Why would he choose beauty? If he really wanted to look at looks, then there were tons of artists under Imperial Star, and all of them were unbelievably beautiful. Huomin's looks were not enough to cause the downfall of a nation. It was more about his temperament. Important things have to be repeated thrice. Suyu felt that it was hard to find someone in this world who had such a strong personality and aura like Huomin. If Huomin was a man, he would definitely be very capable and achieve great things in his career. The main thing was that no matter what she learned, she was exceptionally fast. It simply made those who worked hard to learn want to bang their heads against the wall at any moment. So, where did these crazy genes come from? Was it really the Hua family? It didn't seem like it. Hua Zhenghai was a cunning businessman, but his IQ and EQ were average. The only person that the Hua family could rely on right now was Hua Xiqian, but she wasn't Hua Zhenghai's biological daughter. So, why did the Hua family's genes suddenly change when it came to Huomin? Suyu had been racking his brains, but he still couldn't figure it out. He still didn't know that Huomin wasn't Hua Zhenghai's daughter later. When the truth about Huomin's identity was revealed, Suyu met the real Huomin's family. Only then did he realize that her genes were crazy to the extreme. Every single one of them was very powerful. Southside Recuperation Center. Huomin was busy the entire morning. When she was about to go to the cafeteria for lunch break, she saw a familiar-looking lady walking over. Annie Su, why are you here? Lady Su always came and went like a ghost. Huomin was quite surprised, but she knew that Lady Su wouldn't come looking for her for no reason. Something must have happened. Child, are you free? Have lunch with me. Lady Su smiled elegantly. Chapter 1285. I'm okay. Huomin nodded and finally agreed. Because in Huomin's eyes, Lady Su had always been a sensible person. She wasn't the type to cause trouble for no reason. Huomin had a good impression of Lady Su. He always felt that she was very friendly and didn't keep a distance from him. The two didn't go far. Instead, they ordered some food at a quiet Hong Kong restaurant near the hospital. Annie Su, did you need something from me? Huomin couldn't help but take the initiative to ask. Yeah. Lady Su nodded. Then, she said, did you know that is back? Yeah, I heard. Before he came back, I went to his company and launched an event called The Most Beautiful Girl. This event was held secretly, so not many media outlets reported on it. This time, I want to choose the most outstanding girl out of tens of thousands of girls. She's beautiful, well-educated, has a high IQ and EQ, and has a good education. She'll be Yu's girlfriend. But will he agree? Huomin knew Suyu very well. With his fiery temper, he probably wouldn't agree to what his mother was doing, right? Yes, he won't agree. That's why I came to see you. You came to see me? What can I do for you? Huomin was a little surprised. You can. After speaking, Lady Su held Huamin's hand and said, Child, I know that you likes you a lot, and that his heart is filled with your shadow. But you and your husband are so loving right now. You won't divorce or break up. With your personality, you won't betray him. So, I don't think you has a chance. Instead of letting his one-sided love continue, why don't you find a new friend to replace him and let him forget you little by little? I hope so too. Huamin nodded. She was speaking from the bottom of her heart. She really hoped that Suyu could forget about her and live his life well. But my Yu is stubborn. He doesn't listen to anyone. When he was in the South China Sea, he even had an argument with his grandfather over a blind date. They parted on bad terms. So, I think you're the only one who can persuade him now. So you want me to persuade Suyu to let the audition continue until the end? That's right. I'm really sorry to say this. This is our family's business, but we had to drag you into it for no reason. I don't want to make things difficult for you. My child, I just want to ask you for a favor. As Suyu's mother, I really feel sorry for his stubbornness. Lady Su said sincerely. Huamin could clearly feel Lady Su's heartache for her son, although he really shouldn't get involved in this matter. But if he could help, helping Lady Su was also helping Suyu. It should be the best of both worlds, right? After hesitating for a moment, Huamin nodded. Any Su, I'll try. It might not work, but I'll try my best. Thank you, my child. You're welcome. I'm very happy to be able to help you and Suyu. You're really a very good girl. Unfortunately, our Yu doesn't have the fortune. Lady Su's eyes couldn't hide her love for Huamin. She really liked this girl. She was sensible, not pretentious, and most importantly, she was real. Annie Su, don't say that. I'm not good enough for Suyu. Your Su family is a noble family. A commoner like me can't match up to you. You don't have to be so polite with me. What noble family? Our family's requirements are very simple. As long as you likes it, our whole family will like it. Lady Su smiled. Then I'll leave this matter to you. Before leaving, Lady Su didn't forget to remind him. Okay. Huamin nodded. After returning to the hospital, there were still 15 minutes before work. Huamin picked up his phone and sent a voice message to Qin Shu. Honey, what are you doing? I just finished a meeting. What about you? I just finished eating. Honey, I have something that I need your approval for. Huh? Speak. I want to meet Suyu. Huamin made this request with trembling hands. He didn't know if Mr. Qin would be jealous. It was really torturous. Chapter 1286. Qin Shu. Honey, repeat what you just said. Huamin, honey, I have something I need your approval for. Huh? Qin Shu, no. Huamin, honey, you can't do that. Qin Shu, honey, I can spoil you for anything, but cheating on you is not allowed. You must be nipped in the bud. Huamin, no, don't think too much about it. To be honest, Lady Su came to see me today. Qin Shu, why did she come to see you? Huamin, she said she's starting an audition for beautiful women, but in reality, she's looking for a girlfriend for Suyu. She's afraid that her son won't agree, so she asked me to persuade Suyu. Qin Shu, you can do something that even his mother can't do? Then you have a higher status than his mother? Huamin, Qin Shu, when do we meet? Huamin, wow, honey, you agree? Qin Shu, I want to go with you. Huamin, Qin Shu, I can wait in the car. Huamin, honey, I'm so touched. I thought you'd scold me for being a busybody. Qin Shu, no, I know you have your reasons for doing things. Huamin, moi, honey, I love you. Qin Shu, love can't be said with words. Huamin, Qin Shu, just work hard tonight. Show me your sincerity. Huamin, don't worry, honey, I'll be very sincere. Qin Shu, then you can arrange to meet him. I'll send you there. I'll wait for you in the car. I'll give you 1 hour. Huamin, oh yeah, long live my husband. Huamin knew that Qin Shu wasn't someone who couldn't see the big picture, so he said that he was jealous. But deep down, he trusted Huamian. Since she dared to tell Qin Shu that she wanted to meet Suyu, Huamian didn't mind at all. Then there must be nothing going on. Moreover, it was Qin Shu who sent her there. After the application was completed, Huamin wanted to contact Suyu, but he suddenly realized that he didn't have Suyu's phone number or WeChat. Huamin didn't want to alarm Xiaowei and the others. In the end, he decided to log into Weibo. I sent a private message to Suyu. Are you there? Suyu immediately replied, yes. Are you free tonight? Why did this sound like a date? Suyu only felt that happiness came too suddenly. Yes. After suppressing the ecstasy in his heart, Suyu calmly replied, let's meet up, I want to talk to you. Sure, you can choose the place. Suyu pretended to be relaxed. Then let's meet at 6 p.m., Left Bank Coffee on Songjiang Road. Okay. After Suyu replied, he was in a good mood. Boss, aren't you going to a business dinner tonight? And carefully reminded him. Cancel all my plans tonight. I have more important things to do. The corners of Suyu's mouth curled up slightly and froze. He hadn't seen his boss smile so happily in a long time. Was this the rhythm of a relationship? After work, Qin Shu was going to pick up Huamin. It was snowing outside, and the weather was unbelievably cold. Huamin got into the passenger seat and gave Qin Shu a big hug. Honey, where are we going to eat? You're not going to eat with him? Qin Shu asked calmly. Of course not. I think it'll take at most half an hour. After I finish what I want to say, I'll come out. What do you want to eat? Qin Shu looked at Huamin lovingly. I suddenly want to eat your black pepper beef pasta. I don't think those restaurants make it as authentic as yours. Huamin said coquettishly. Okay, then we'll go home and make it ourselves. Okay. Huamin smiled happily. It was rush hour, so traffic was inevitable. Every time they reached a traffic light, Huamin would turn on his clingy mode. She leaned her head on Qin Shu's shoulder and placed her right hand on the back of Qin Shu's right hand. She always felt that this kind of happiness came too quickly, and it was too unreal. It was like a dream. Huamin felt like she was a person with a very complicated fate. She couldn't believe that she had obtained happiness so easily. Therefore, the more uneasy she felt, the more afraid she was of losing him. Therefore, she clung to Qin Shu even more. Honey, if you continue like this, I'm going to have a reaction. Seeing that Huamin's entire body was about to stick to Qin Shu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 1287. Huamin shyly straightened her back and stopped being a dogskin plaster. The two of them walked all the way to Left Bank Cafe. Go ahead. I'll wait for you here. Huamin nodded. Then, she grabbed her purse, got out of the car, and walked straight into the cafe. Suyu's new car, a white Bugatti, was parked in front of the cafe. He came very early, even 20 minutes before the scheduled time. He canceled everything just to meet up with Huamin. This was the first time in his life that Huamin took the initiative to ask her out. You're early. Huamin smiled. No, I just got here too. Suyu felt a little awkward. Then, he immediately called for the waiter. Waiter, give her a hot cappuccino. Thank you. Huamin sat across from Suyu and took off her white down jacket. Inside, there was only a simple white shirt with a stand-up collar, with a butterfly design on the collar. So, did the sun rise from the west today? Suyu looked at her and was in a good mood. Huh? Huamin froze. You actually asked me out for coffee. Are you surprised? Yeah, I'm really surprised. Suyu looked down and slowly stirred the milk and sugar in her coffee. Actually, I asked you out today because I have something to tell you. I know, you wouldn't ask me out for nothing. Suyu looked up. He was already mentally prepared before he came. With Huamin's personality, it was impossible for her to ask him out for coffee just to catch up. Suyu's frankness made Huamin a little uncomfortable. Tell me, what do you want to announce? Is it because you're pregnant? Suyu asked calmly. He had imagined countless times how he would feel if he found out that Huamin was pregnant. Maybe he would be happy for her, or maybe he would be disappointed. However, he didn't think that he would say it out loud so casually. Ahem. Huamin coughed violently. Why was everyone focusing on whether she was pregnant or not? It was as if she really couldn't have children. You misunderstood. It's not about that. It's about you. About me? Suyu looked at Huamin and raised his eyebrows slightly. Yeah, about your company's talent show. Before Huamin could finish his sentence, Su Yu's voice sounded. Did my mother look for you? Yeah. Huamian wasn't good at lying, so she nodded casually. Ignore her. She's old and is going through menopause. Su continued to drink his coffee. I think she's doing this for your own good. So why don't you think about it? Huamin. Su suddenly raised his head, looked into her eyes, and called out her full name. Huamin looked at him quietly. You don't have to like me, but please don't tell me to like someone else. I don't like other people interfering with my life. I'm in charge of my own heart. Su was a little angry. Huamin's motive was obvious as soon as she opened her mouth. His mother had asked her to persuade him. She wanted him to agree to that ridiculous audition. He wasn't the emperor of the harem. Why would he choose a concubine? I'm not trying to interfere with your life. I just think it's better for you. After all, you can't be alone. No one said that you have to get married and have kids. Everyone has the right to choose how they live. Why should I be like everyone else? Su asked. Huamin remained silent. The two of them didn't speak for a long time, and the atmosphere was a little awkward. Finally, Huamin bit her lips and looked up at Su. Su, let me ask you, do you still keep your promise? Chapter 1288. What do you mean? Su was confused by her question. What do you mean by everything? Do you still keep your promises to me? Huamian stared into his eyes and asked, word for word. Yes, as long as I've promised you. Everything counts. Su was so sincere towards Huamin that he would do anything for her. So, if I take this out, can you fulfill my wish? Can you fulfill my wish? Huamian reached in her bag and took out the bullet shell that Su had given her on her birthday. Su's heart trembled when he saw the keepsake. So, what do you want? Are you trying to force me to compromise with you? Su smiled bitterly. I'm not forcing you to compromise. I just want you to live a happier life. Haha. You're not me. How do you know that I'll be happy if you just randomly arrange a woman for me? Do you think that humans are like animals, that they just need to mate when they're in heat? Humans are high-level animals because they have their own independent thoughts and personalities. So what if I like you? What's wrong with that? You don't have to like me, but do you think it's fun to force me to do something like this? Su was truly angry this time. Huamin knew that she had gone overboard, but she felt that if Su could live a better life in the future, it would all be worth it. So, she gritted her teeth and placed the bullet shell on the table. On my birthday, you said that you would fulfill one of my wishes. So you had a bad feeling about this. He felt like Huamin's wish was a trap for him. As expected, he heard Huamin say, word for word, so my wish is for you to cooperate with the activity that Su has prepared for you. Su sighed softly. Then he raised his head and looked out of the window, his expression incomparably gloomy. You can take the bullet shell back. Su pushed the bullet shell towards Huamin. What? Are you going to break your promise? Huamin was slightly startled. In her eyes, Su shouldn't be a man who didn't keep his word. Then, she heard Su say, take back the bullets. I didn't give you this for you to squander like this. I'll agree to what you've told me. You don't have to force me with a token. Actually, as long as you say it's what you want, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Huamin didn't even finish his sentence. Su got up and left. Huamian couldn't finish her sentence and felt awkward. Suddenly, when Su walked past Huamin, he stopped and leaned over to look at Huamin. Then, he said, word for word, Huamin, don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. After saying this, Su got up and left. He turned his head without saying anything. Su didn't expect to end this meeting so quickly. When he walked to the door, he reached for his wallet and left a 1,000 yuan bill at the cashier. Bill for table 6, keep the change. Actually, the last sentence that Su said before he left was a huge blow to Huamin. She was deeply touched. Yeah, Su was right. Don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. If she couldn't accept it herself, why would she try so hard to persuade others? Huamin felt like she was being too selfish. She was in a hurry to find a girlfriend for Su because she wanted Su to forget about her. Then, she wouldn't feel guilty about her relationship with Qinshu anymore. In the end, she was thinking too much about herself, and ignored Suyu's feelings. When Huamin walked out, she looked a little dazed. When she got into the car, Chu immediately noticed that something was wrong. "Honey, what's wrong? Why do you look so listless?" Chapter 1289. It's nothing, we just didn't have a good conversation. Chu was so angry that he laughed. He reached out his hand and pinched her face lovingly. "It's good that you didn't have a good conversation. If you two had a good conversation, would I still be sitting here quietly? I would have torn down that cafe a long time ago." Huamin smiled through her tears. She looked down and sent a text to Lady Su. "Andy Su, I've already told him." "Okay, thank you, child," Lady Su replied immediately. Huamin took a deep breath, then put her arm around Chu's shoulder and smiled. "Let's go home for dinner, honey." "Okay." Then, Chu and Huamin returned to South Hill Manor. As soon as the two entered the house, the butler, Uncle Lee, walked over. "Sir, madam, what would you like for dinner? I'll get someone to prepare it right away." "It's okay, I'll do it. You guys should go and rest." Then, Chu changed his clothes, rolled up his sleeves, and walked into the kitchen with the ingredients. Huamin took a shower and sat on the sofa in the living room, looking at some hospital information. Not long after, Chu finished preparing the pasta. He even made a vegetable and fruit salad for Huamin. Huamin's bad mood was instantly swept away. The two of them sat facing each other. "Sir, here's the wine you wanted." Uncle Lee handed over a bottle of red wine. This was flown back from France. "It's made from the latest grapes. Although it's not that old, it tastes good. Try it." As Chu spoke, he poured half a glass for Huamin. Huamin nodded slightly. Then, she lowered her head and took a bite of the pasta. Suddenly, her heart was filled with happiness. Looking at the man sitting across from her, she felt like she was back in her youth. "Honey, thank you for being in my life." Huamin was extremely emotional. She raised her glass to Chu. The corners of Chu's mouth raised slightly as he responded with a smile. Uncle Lee looked at the two children lovingly and then left quietly. Both of them were very busy. It had been a long time since they could relax and enjoy a proper dinner. "What a waste of our two-person world." On the other side, Suyu returned to the villa at night and began to pack up without saying a word. "Son, what happened?" "Move away," Suyu replied faintly. "Why did you move out?" Lady Su was used to going home to eat and sleep. She panicked when she saw that Suyu was about to move out. "It's nothing. It's just that the renovation of my villa has been completed. The formaldehyde removal work has also been completed. I've decided to move there. I still prefer to live alone." With that said, Suyu simply put some of his personal belongings into the suitcase, then carried it and walked down. Why didn't you inform me in advance? Why did you leave just like that?" Lady Su was a bit reluctant to leave. Suyu stopped in his tracks and turned to look at his mother. "Mom, why didn't you tell me in advance that you were going to choose a girlfriend for me? National auditions? You should have just announced it to the world. I was doing it for your own good. I don't need you to do it for my own good. I can listen to you on everything else, but when it comes to marriage, I want to make my own decisions. I don't want to find a woman I don't like, marry her, and be with her for the rest of my life. All right, and don't go looking for Huamin anymore. It's my own business that I like her. Don't drag her into it." Are you blaming me?" Lady Su's heart ached. "No, I'm just giving you a piece of advice. I hope this is the first and last time. Also, you can continue with the event. Just let me know when you're done. I promised Huamin that I'll cooperate with you, but only this time." With that, Suyu carried his suitcase downstairs. Then he threw it into the trunk of his sports car and left in a hurry. Lady Su felt a bit sad. Her son seemed to be really angry this time. She didn't think that Huamin would affect her son to this extent. It was another weekend. In the morning, Chu went to GK to work overtime, and Huamin woke up naturally. When she got up, she realized what time it was. She had just put on her clothes when she saw Lady Qin come upstairs. "Mian, hurry up and get ready. I'm taking you somewhere today." Chu's mother seemed to be very nice to Huamin lately, and her attitude towards her was a lot friendlier. Chapter 1290. Mom, where are you taking me? Huamin froze. You'll know when we get there. Hurry up and get ready. Lady Qin urged her mysteriously. Huamin could only listen to her mother-in-law. She immediately washed her face, brushed her teeth, and changed her clothes. She looked at the weather forecast. It wasn't particularly cold today, so she didn't wear a down jacket. Instead, she chose a light blue cashmere coat. Inside, she chose a white knitted sweater. This combination made one's eyes light up. After Huamin changed, she didn't even have time to eat breakfast. Instead, she directly followed Lady Qin to the black Bentley. Lady Qin didn't know how to drive. Whenever she went out, the family chauffeur would pick her up. After Huamin got into the car, Lady Qin handed her a bag of soy milk and youtiao. Eat it while it's hot. It's not good for your stomach if you don't eat in the morning. Thanks, Mom. Huamin slowly took the breakfast. To be honest, she never imagined that a day like this would come. Not only did Qin Shu's mother accept her, but she also packed breakfast for her. What a surprise. Huamin quietly finished her breakfast. Then, she didn't say much on the way home. She simply looked out the window at the scenery. Just then, she received a WeChat message. Honey, are you up? Machum, come to the office for lunch in a bit, Qin Shu said domineeringly. I'm afraid I can't. Mom's here. Which mom? Qin Shu was a little confused. Your mom. Huamin didn't dare to send a voice message. She could only type carefully. What's my mom doing? I don't know. She said she's taking me somewhere. Take it. Mom's pretty generous. If you go shopping, you can scam her a little more. Are you really her biological child? Huamin snickered. Qin Shu didn't reply. The car drove for about an hour. They were already very far out of the city. Finally, they got off the highway and entered a small village. Mom, where are we going? Huamian couldn't help but ask out of curiosity. Lady Qin took her hand and said mysteriously, There's a master fortune teller here. He's blind. It's said that he's very accurate. Many provincial leaders come here, but he doesn't show his fortune after noon, so we have to come in the morning. Fortune-telling. Huamin was a little embarrassed. To be honest, she didn't really believe in these things. She had always thought that it was superstition, something that only the older generation believed in. However, her mother-in-law was also kind, so she couldn't refuse directly. Therefore, he braced himself and followed her into a farmyard. He wouldn't know if he didn't go in, but once he did, he was shocked. The courtyard was filled with people. It seemed like there was a party going on. Lady Qin stepped forward and said to a middle-aged woman at the door, We made an appointment with Master Zhao yesterday. All right, you guys wait for a moment. When the people inside come out, you guys can go in. Lady Qin nodded in satisfaction. Then she pulled Huamin and said, Don't think too much, kid. I'm not trying to tell you and choose marriage. After all, you guys are already married. I just want to see when you guys can have a child. This master is very accurate. Let's hear what he has to say. Huamin nodded. When you go in, don't be afraid if the master asks you anything. Just tell him the truth, Lady Qin instructed. Huamin nodded again. After about 10 minutes, the middle-aged woman walked out. You guys can go in now. Okay. Lady Qin led Huamin inside. However, the middle-aged woman stopped them. Only the person who asked the question can go in. Okay then, I'll wait outside. Lady Qin anxiously waited outside the door with her designer bag. To be honest, Huamin had never had her fortune told since she was young. She always thought that these things were lies. So, it was quite awkward. She entered the innermost room and saw an old man sitting on the sofa. He looked to be in his 60s. His hair was white, and his eyes were closed. According to her mother-in-law, he was blind. Hello, master. I'm here to have my fortune told. Huamin politely bowed to the old man. Chapter 1291. Have a seat. The old man waved his hand, gesturing for Huamin to sit down. What do you want to read? I want to have a child. Huamin was actually quite embarrassed to say it out loud. After all, it was such a private matter. Give me your birthday. I'll take a look first. Huamin then told the old man the year, month, and time of her birth. Then she saw the old man close his eyes and pinch his fingers together. At that time, she thought this was too typical. It was no different from those fortune tellers who set up stalls outside. They would just say that you had some kind of calamity and ask you to spend money to solve it. However, Homie never would have thought that. The old man's first sentence was a sigh. "Master, what's wrong? This life of yours." At this point, the old man hesitated. Upon hearing this, Huamin also became nervous. "Master, if you have something to say, just say it. I'm fine. Child, it's been hard on you all these years." The old man closed his eyes. Although he couldn't see Huamin's face, it was as if he knew what she looked like. His words warmed Huamin's heart. She was surprised. "I've been a fortune teller for more than 30 years, but I've never seen a fate like yours. Is it good or bad?" Huamin continued to ask. "How should I put it? It's not good, but it's not bad either. It has its pros and cons. Let's talk about it first." Okay. For the first time, Huamin was interested in something as vivid as fortune-telling. "Your fate is quite exaggerated. Originally, you didn't have such a fate. But when you were born, something happened and it changed your fate. But it's good, it's destined that you won't have to wander around for many years." "Master, I don't understand." Huamin was even more annoyed by her master's ambiguous words. Not many people knew about her past, except for her, Qin Shu, and Huasiqian. It was impossible for outsiders to know, but this old man seemed to know. Did he mean that he had been swapped in the hospital back then by a freak combination of factors? "Child, there are some things that I can't say too directly. As the saying goes, the secrets of heaven cannot be revealed. You can figure it out yourself. However, I can tell you that although your life has been torturous and difficult, it's still considered peaceful. If it weren't for this calamity, if you had your original fate, you might have been living a life of escape. Will I be able to see my family again in the future?" Huamin asked anxiously. "Yes, but now is not the right time. They will come looking for you." Upon hearing this, Huamin was ecstatic. At that moment, the elder spread out his hands and said to Huamin, "Let me tell you about your current life providence first." "All right." Huamin nodded. He was already in awe of the old man. "If you have been through hardships in the beginning, you will definitely enjoy good health in the future." Huamin roughly understood the meaning of these 4 sentences. It seemed to be saying that if you have been through hardships in the beginning, you'll be fine in the future. Then, the old man slowly explained, "You are handsome and have an extraordinary temperament. You are talented. You don't take advantage of good people, and you are not afraid of evil. You are bold and careful, and you have a strong aura. You don't come from a good family, but you have always been the backbone of your family. However, you rarely meet people who can help you. So every time something happens, you will be able to turn misfortune into fortune. Don't worry." "That sounds good. Am I starting to get lucky?" Huamin smiled, thinking that the person the old man was talking about must be Qin Chu. To his surprise, the old man shook his head. "Not yet. You will face another calamity within a year." Upon hearing this, Huamin's expression changed slightly. "Then, can it be overcome?" Huamin asked tentatively. He wanted to see if the old man was just saying this to make money. The old man shook his head. "It can't be overcome. It is fated. Most people who say that they can help people overcome calamities are lying. A person's fate is fated, and no one can change it. Otherwise, you will become the enemy of the heavens. However, you don't have to worry too much about this calamity. According to your fate, you will overcome it. Anyway, remember, no matter what happens, stay strong. Only by staying alive will there be hope." Huamin felt that his master's words made sense. So he nodded. "Then, Master, will I be able to have a baby in this lifetime?" Huamin held his stomach sadly. He suddenly lost confidence in himself. His master was actually quite accurate. He was not one of those liars who came up with nonsense. Chapter 1292. The old man calculated with his fingers, then slowly said, "Don't worry. Not only are you destined to have children, but you'll have more than one." More than one?" Huomin understood it as twins, triplets, or even multiple births. No way. Either none of them came, or a few of them came. Did it have to be so weird? You're a man with many children, so you won't be childless. Don't worry, wait patiently, and it won't take too long. The old man said a lot to Huomin. Normally, he wouldn't have said so much. Thank you, master. Huomin nodded in gratitude. No need. Do you have anything else to ask? No. Huomin felt that he shouldn't be too greedy. Even if the master was accurate, he didn't want her to continue. Let me ask you, if your life and what will happen in the next few decades can be calculated by someone else, how boring would that be? There was no surprise to speak of. The reason why life was so interesting was that you never knew what would happen tomorrow. Therefore, Huomin decided that he only needed to know what he wanted the most, and there was no need to ask about anything else. Okay, then help me call the next one. Master, how much is it? Huomin took out his wallet from his bag and prepared to pay the master. 1 yuan. 1 yuan. Huomin was extremely surprised. This old man does fortune-telling for others to accumulate virtue and do good deeds, not to become rich. So, you don't have to be surprised. Just give me $1. If I read it for free, then I'll be punished by the heavens. That won't do. 1 yuan is too little. It's too insulting. Huomin felt embarrassed. He took out 100 yuan bills from his bag and handed them over. However, the master insisted on shaking his head. I said I don't want it. Just give me 1 yuan. Seeing that the master's attitude wasn't very friendly, Huomin knew that he was really angry. He didn't dare to insist, so he took out some change from his bag, took out 1 yuan, and placed it on the table. The old man picked it up and touched it. After confirming that it was indeed 1 yuan, he nodded in satisfaction. Huomin put his palms together and bowed deeply towards the old man in a very sincere manner. Thank you, master. She had never had her fortune told before, and this was her first time doing so. She had really met an expert. No need. Let's go. The old man waved his hand and dismissed Huomin. Hearing Huomin's footsteps leaving, the old man sighed slightly again. It's really hard on this child. His fate is too complicated. When they walked out, Lady Qin immediately walked up and held Huomin's hand. How is it? Mian, what did the master say? Master said, there will be children, and more than one. Huomin was a little shy. Are they twins? Or are they multiple births? Oh my God, that's great. Lady Qin was overjoyed. Lady Qin didn't doubt the master's words at all, because her friends had told her before. Therefore, she was very sure that the master's words were very accurate. Now that he said that Huomin was destined to have many children, it meant that the Qin family had a successor. Let's go. Mom will treat you to a big meal. Mom, there's no need. You've been busy with me all morning. Huomin was a little embarrassed to let his mother-in-law make the arrangements. After all, she was an old woman. What's there to be busy about? We're family. Don't be silly. Let's go. Lady Qin held Huomin's hand and got into the Bentley. Then, they drove to the top-floor restaurant of a 5-star hotel in the city. Lady Qin ordered an Australian lobster, some bird's nest, sea cucumber, and abalone rice for Huomin. The meal cost more than 20,000 yuan. Huomin's heart ached, but his mother-in-law was generous. This time, she came back with such good news. Whether it was for Huomin or Lady Qin, it was great news. During the meal, she took the initiative to ask Huomin, "Child, did you tell Chu about this?" Chapter 1293. Not yet. I'm afraid that it won't be good if it isn't. Huomin wasn't sure. If the master's divination was wrong, it would be a slap in the face. Therefore, he didn't tell Qin Chu. However, Lady Qin couldn't wait. Oh, that won't happen. This master is very good. If he says it's true, then it's true. Then, before Huomin could say anything, Lady Qin took the initiative to call her son. Chu, let me tell you a piece of good news. Today, I took Mian to a very accurate fortune teller. Guess what he said? Ha ha. The master said that she's destined to have many children. Our Qin family is going to be very lively in the future. Lady Qin couldn't hide the joy in her eyes as she reported to Qin Chu. Huamin lowered his head. She was too embarrassed to tell everyone. After all, she wasn't pregnant yet. Qin Chu smiled on the other end. This is good news. You have to comfort your daughter-in-law. Of course, I'm taking her to eat a big meal right now. Australian lobster. Do you want to come? Lady Qin said proudly. I'm not going. I still have work to do at the company. You guys enjoy your meal. After hanging up, Lady Qin smiled at Huamin. Chu sounds very happy too. Hey, Mian, do you think these babies will be boys or girls? Are they twin girls? Or boys? Or both men and women? Mom, it's not the responsibility of either party to give birth to a boy or a girl. In medicine, it's a matter of chromosomes. It's a matter of X and Y, Huamin explained with a smile. I don't know about XY, but I think it'd be best if it's a boy and a girl. Huh, but it'd be good if it's two girls and a boy. Oh, everything's good. Even if it's a girl, I'd be happy. Huamin was very happy about Lady Qin's attitude. She wasn't like those rich mothers-in-law who wanted to give birth to a boy. For the current Lady Qin, as long as Huamin gave birth, it didn't matter if it was a boy or a girl. Therefore, Huamin really didn't have any burdens after eating with his mother-in-law. Huamin wanted to go to Sky Blessing Court to see his mother. Lady Qin happily asked the driver to send Huamin to Sky Blessing Court. However, Lady Qin didn't go in. After all, so many unpleasant things had happened before, so she couldn't face it so calmly. Before Lady Qin left, she reminded Huamin to eat and sleep well and prepare for pregnancy. Huamin smiled and nodded before entering his home in Sky Blessing Court. When she went in, she found her mother eating alone. She was very happy to see Huamin. Mian, you came just in time. I made corn noodles. Mom, I've already eaten. Hurry up and eat. I just came to see you. Huamin sat down on the sofa with a smile on her face. She turned on the TV and watched in boredom. Suddenly, a note on the coffee table caught her attention. It was a money transfer receipt. On it was clearly written, Sender, Yang Mei Yirong. Recipient, Yang Xiaoping. The date of the transfer was today, and the amount was 10,000 yuan. Mom, you went out today? Huamin suddenly asked. Yang Mei Yirong was eating in the dining room, so she didn't see her daughter find the receipt. Therefore, she replied, Yeah, I just went out to buy some groceries. There's nothing left to eat at home. Mom, why did you transfer 10,000 yuan to Xiaoping? Why did she need so much money all of a sudden? Huamin asked with a complicated expression. Upon hearing her daughter's question, Yang Mei Yirong's expression changed. How did you know? Chapter 1294. Huamin held up the slip of paper helplessly. Look, isn't it written here? Yang Mei Yirong immediately felt awkward. She was a bit hungry when she transferred the money, so she wanted to cook and then put the slip of paper on a coffee table. She thought she'd throw it away later, but she didn't expect Huamin to come at this time. So she ignored it. Huamin knew that at his mother's age, she didn't know how to use mobile banking or transfer money online. The only way was to go to the bank and transfer money. The truth was, Huamin wouldn't ask about giving money to Yang Mei Yirong. After all, no matter how bad she was still his mother's niece. He remembered his mother saying that when Yang Xiaoping left, it was only right to give her some pocket money. After Yang Xiaoping left, his mother gave her an extra 5,000 yuan for living expenses. She was worried that Yang Xiaoping wouldn't have enough money to eat or sleep. Generally speaking, if a girl had 7,000 to 8,000 yuan on her, her food and accommodation should not be too bad. Even if her workplace didn't provide food and accommodation, she shouldn't have spent all her money in just a few days, right? Yang Mei Yirong was embarrassed by Huamin's question. She had no choice but to tell him the truth. Man, don't be mad. Xiaoping called me this morning and said that her new job doesn't provide food and accommodation, and they even deduct her deposit. She spent most of her money and ate something bad last night, so she went to the hospital. She asked me to lend her money and said that she'll pay me back when she earns more money. Huamin was a bit helpless. Mom, It's not that I don't want you to lend Xiaoping money, but I have a feeling that she might not be telling the truth. You shouldn't trust her so much. If she really was hospitalized and treated, we'd give her any amount of money. You don't have to lend her money, but is she really sick? Is she just using you as an excuse to ask for money? I don't think she's lying to me, right? The truth was, Yang Meirong wasn't sure either. When her niece lived here, she was a bit lazy and didn't do much. Yang Meirong even gave her 3,000 yuan a month, but because she was her niece, Yang Meirong didn't mind. Now that her niece had asked for 10,000 yuan, she didn't even have any qualms. Thinking about it, she was too muddle-headed and didn't ask clearly. Okay, let's leave it at that. If she asks for money again in the future, just say that you don't have it and ask her to transfer it to me. If she really needs money, I'll give it to her. But if she lies, I won't get a single cent. Huamin tried to persuade his mother. Yang Meirong felt that her daughter had a point, so she nodded. Has Zhixin called you recently? Yang Meirong was a little disappointed. I did, but he seems to be very busy. He said that he won't be coming back for the spring festival and will continue his studies there. That's good too. It's rare for him to be so motivated. Boys should work harder and fight harder. Although Huamin missed Zhixin very much, he didn't think it was wrong for Zhixin not to come back. Instead, he was quite supportive of him. She stayed at her mother's house for a while and slept. That night, her mother made dumplings with celery and pork stuffing. Qin Chu happened to get off work and had dinner there as well. At 7:30 p.m., the two of them left Sky Blessing Court together. On the way, Qin Chu turned his head to look at Huamin and asked, "What did the master say today? Didn't Mom tell you? I want to hear it from you." Qin Chu's tone was infinitely gentle. Huamin looked out the window shyly. He said that we might have many children. How many is many? A football team? Do you think I'm a pig? How could I have a football team? Huamin laughed and punched Qin Chu's shoulder. Then, Mr. Qin asked in all seriousness, "Did the master say how many times a night is best for us?" Chapter 1295. Huamin chuckled and replied fiercely, 18 times. 18 times is too much, but 8 times I can still handle it. Aren't you afraid of? Huamin looked at Qin Chu amused. What's wrong with for my wife? Huamin immediately nudged Qin Chu. Mr. Qin was being dirty again. The two of them went back to South Hill Manor, showered early, and went to bed. The next morning, Huamin went to work as usual. When Zhu Lingling won the lottery, she started a conversation in the group chat. Zhu Lingling, girls, are you free tonight? I'll treat you guys to dinner. Jiang Xiaowei, did you hit the jackpot? Huamin, did you win a lottery? Jiang Xiaowei, did you find yourself a sugar daddy? Huamin, did your Captain Gao quit his job? Zhu Lingling, I'm just treating you guys to dinner. Do you have to be like this? Although I am different from you guys, I'm not some rich lady, but I'm not someone who can't afford to treat you guys to a meal. At most, we'll just pick a small place, hee hee. Jiang Xiaowei. Okay. I'm bored to death at home. I want to go out. Anything is fine. Huamin, I'm not picky. You pick a place. Zhu Lingling. Let me make it clear, I'm not bringing my family today. Every time I bring those guys, we can't have a private conversation. Jiang Xiaowei, I agree. It's better if we don't bring them. It's quiet. You don't have to squeak in my ear. Huamin, then I'll take a cab and leave Mr. Qin at home. Zhu Lingling, okay, I'll make a reservation. Send me the address when I'm done. Just come on time. In the afternoon, Huamin was busy with meetings and taking notes. At the end of the year, the hospital was also busy. There were a lot of patients every day. If the neurology department did not have a lot of patients, Huamin would go to other departments that he was familiar with. They were also quite desperate. Her mother-in-law kept telling her not to tire herself out and not to work too hard, but how could she be so free? When it was finally time to get off work, Huamin sent a WeChat message to Qin Chu, telling her that he was going out for dinner. Qin Chu only replied with one word, then continued to work overtime. Huamin took a taxi to the restaurant booked by Zhu Linglin. It was a famous kitchen fish restaurant in the city center. All of them liked to eat fish, so they had the same idea. When Huamin arrived, Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling had already arrived. The three of them were in a small private room on the second floor. The environment was very elegant. In the middle of the room, a large iron pot was simmering a large fish and various vegetables. The smell of it was very appetizing. Huh, my Mian gained weight. You have some meat on your face. Jiang Xiaowei smiled. Really, now that you mention it, I feel it too. What's going on? Did you gain weight? Zhu Lingling laughed. Huamin subconsciously pinched her own face. I'm preparing for pregnancy, so I eat a lot. Everything I eat is delicious. Aren't you afraid that you'll turn into a pig? What if Mr. Qin abandons you? Zhu Lingling joked. I'm not afraid. If worst comes to worst, I'll turn him into a pig and keep him company. Hey, you're so jealous. Mr. Qin isn't here, and you're still showing off your love to us, as if no one else is here, Zhu Lingling said proudly. Jiang Xiaowei laughed. When the three of them were together, the atmosphere was always lively. Hey, silly Ling, when are you getting married? You can't live together forever without getting married. Jiang Xiaowei suddenly thought of this question. Actually, after our last get-together, Gao Ran proposed to me that day, Jiang Xiaowei. Wow, why didn't you tell him? Huamin, you're hiding information from me, so I'll drag you out and beat you 30 times. Zhu Lingling, I already rejected him. Why would I tell you guys? You rejected him? Are you crazy? Jiang Xiaowei was shocked. You're joking. Why did you reject the proposal? Huamin was also surprised. Chapter 1296. Then, Zhu Lingling stopped smiling and looked at Huamin seriously. I told him that we shouldn't get married yet. It's not the right time yet. We'll get married when Mian is pregnant. Wouldn't that be a double blessing? After Zhu Lingling finished speaking, she immediately fell silent. Jiang Xiaowei also stopped smiling and looked at Huamin. She didn't say anything after hesitating for a long time. She said to Zhu Lingling, Are you stupid? Why would you wait until I'm pregnant before you get married? If I don't get pregnant, you won't get married. Uffed. I won't. I think I'll wait another year at most. Within a year, you'll definitely have a baby, and I'll get married for sure. Zhu Lingling was full of confidence. Did Gao Ran agree? Jiang Xiaowei asked tentatively. Yeah, what good man, Jiang Xiaowei exclaimed. Huamin tapped Zhu Lingling's head with his finger. No one is stupider than you. But that's good too. Fortune favors fools. You'll definitely be very lucky. Of course. I'm the fattest out of the three of us, but the fortune teller said that fat people are blessed. So I won't be worse than you guys, huh? Zhu Lingling laughed happily. Huamin was very touched. She didn't think that the fact that she didn't have a baby would affect her friends. Even Zhu Lingling was still waiting to see if she was pregnant with his proposal. It was really too touching. Sometimes friendship was serious. When it was serious, it didn't lose out to love. Although love lasted for a lifetime, friendship lasted for a lifetime as well. A best friend may grow from a young age to a white-haired one. Huamin felt emotional and posted on his WeChat moments. Whether it's friendship or love, the most beautiful state is from spring and autumn to winter and summer, from young to old. At the same time, Huamin also updated his WeChat moments on Weibo. When Suyu refreshed his Weibo, he immediately saw Huamin's update. After a while, he slowly muttered to himself, I didn't get to participate in your youth, but I'm willing to accompany you to the end in your future. What do you mean, young Master Su? Are you trying to pester me? Tang Chuan asked after hearing Su Yu's words. No one will think you're mute if you don't speak. Ha! I've exposed your thoughts. You've lost face, haven't you? Su Yu didn't even respond to him. Instead, he came to Huamin's office. Early in the morning, he was lying on Su Yu's office's sofa and played mobile games on his phone. He was speechless. Most importantly, Su even have lunches at him. Not only that, but this guy didn't know his place and often attacked Su Yu. Sai, to be honest, Lord Su, you should give up. Even I feel bad for your feelings for Huamin. I feel sorry for you, really, Tang Chuan said as he played his mobile game. I know what I'm doing. What do you have to know? You've been down south with me for more than 20 days, and you're still the same. You haven't changed at all. You're happy for half a day when someone posts on Weibo. Okay? Why do you have to do this? You can have any woman you want in your position. Why do you have to fight with Hwamin to the end? Aren't you tired? So you opened his laptop and looked at the data, as he slowly replied. If you fall in love with someone and realize that person doesn't like you back, then you don't like them anymore and like someone else. Is that true love? How old are you? This isn't a kindergarten kid playing house. Do you think it's that simple? The most difficult thing in life is love. So many heroes have been wasted on beautiful women. I like Hwamin. Who did I offend? I didn't break up her marriage. I as evil as you say? I don't understand. Why do you keep telling me to give up? Chapter 1297. You're wrong. You're not evil. You're just pitiful that you can't get a response from her. Tang Chuan defended himself. Suyu raised his eyebrows and said, Pitiful? How come I don't think so? If Hwamin immediately dumped Qin Shu and ran in my arms, that would be pitiful. If she betrayed Qin Shu for me, then she'll betray me for another man one day. If she was such a frivolous woman, then I wouldn't have fallen for her. The reason why I'm falling deeper and deeper is because I know her better. I know that because of the promise she made when she was young, she never left Qin Shu. She's even willing to live and die with him. Hwamin is a great woman. A woman like her is worthy of me doing anything for her. Tang Chuan was speechless. Okay, you win. Lord Su, you're always right. In the end, Tang Chuan stopped arguing with Suyu. When it came to Hwamin, not only Tang Chuan and Wei Liao, but even Lord Su and Mrs. Su couldn't say anything. Suyu was already on the path of unrequited love. There was no turning back. Hwamin's smile was a gift even to her. President Su, the auditions are over. Mrs. Su is hosting a dinner party for the winner, runner-up, and runner-up. It's at White Jade Restaurant, 8 p.m. Remember to be there on time. His assistant and carefully explained, I got it. Suyu nodded and went back to work. Tang Chuan's interest was immediately piqued. He stood up and put away his phone. Then he walked up to Suyu and gossiped, Huh? Annie Su, you're really something. Although the harem selection wasn't held on a large scale, it was still held from 20,000 people. I've long heard that the top 3 are all beauties who can cause the fall of a city. How about? Before he could finish, Suyu understood what he was thinking and raised his head to look at him. You can come with us tonight. Really? Really? Then will Annie kill me? Tang Chuan was a little hesitant. Even if I die under a peony, I'll still be a romantic ghost. Ha, you're right. Then I'll wait until tonight to be with you. Ha ha. You pick first, and the rest are mine. Tang Chuan was very proud. Are you still taking Chinese medicine recently? Suyu suddenly asked. Yes, why? Tang Chuan was a little confused. Well, let's nourish your kidneys first. Tang Chuan, who said that Suyu wasn't two-faced? When his mouth was poisonous, it would infuriate people to death. Suyu was very conflicted about his mother's concubine selection. He always felt that it was very childish. He originally wanted to stop it, but his mother found Hwamin at the last minute as reinforcements, so he couldn't do anything. He also promised Hwamin that he would fully cooperate with this matter. So, he definitely had to attend tonight's banquet, 8 p.m. So you brought Tang Chuan to the banquet on time. In a private room on the top floor of White Jade Restaurant. There were bodyguards guarding the door. Lady Su also did a very good job of keeping it a secret, afraid that the media would report it. When Suyu entered, he saw 3 girls sitting next to his mother. You're here. Lady Su was very happy to see her son. The 3 women all looked over at the same time. After seeing the girls' faces, Tang Chuan was a little surprised. The 3 chosen out of 20,000 people weren't devastatingly beautiful. In fact, they couldn't even be described as beauties. Young Master Su. The 3 girls greeted in unison. Suyu nodded and walked over. Chuan, you're here too? Mrs. Su smiled. Hello, Andy. I was out with them on some business and didn't eat, so I came over. It's fine. Sit down. Lady Su was extremely generous. After Su Yu and Tang Chuan sat down, Lady Su immediately introduced them enthusiastically. This is third place, Yao Tingting. This is second place, Zhang Junya. And this is our champion this time, Bai Jingjing. Bai Jingjing? Huffed. Isn't that the name of the white-boned spirit in Journey to the West? Tang Chuan didn't think too much about it. This caused the girl to look very awkward as well. What do you think? Lady Su's words were also very straightforward. She wanted her son to pick a good one out of the three. Chapter 1298. Pretty good. They're all pretty good, Su Yu said, which was rare for him. Tang Chuan, Mrs. Su, then which one is the best? Mrs. Su continued to ask straightforwardly. All three are good. Why don't you keep them all? They're all really good. Su Yu looked down, took out his phone, and said casually as he scrolled through his WeChat moments. Mrs. Su, Tang Chuan, ahem. Lord Su, although your dreams are great, reality is harsh. It's good to have ideas and daring, but our China's constitution currently doesn't allow polygamy, Tang Chuan explained. These words were exactly what Lady Su wanted to say, although it was a good thing that her son was interested in them. However, he couldn't ask for all three at once. Polygamy? You guys are thinking too much. I mean, all three of them can sign under Imperial Star. It just so happens that our company is filming a harem drama and needs a lot of women. I think the three of them are very suitable. Lady Su, Tang Chuan, the three beauties also had awkward expressions on their faces. Didn't they say that they were going to pick a wife for Lord Su? Why did they end up talking about signing with Imperial Star? Looking at the three beauties' confused faces, Su Yu took out the contracts that he always carried with him from his bag. This is the rookie contract. Take a look. If you like it, want to enter the entertainment industry, or are interested in acting, you can sign it. If you don't want to act, you don't have to sign it. I'll compensate you with another sum of money. I won't let you participate for nothing. Young Master Su, you misunderstood. We didn't participate for the money. The champion, Bai Jingjing, explained gently. The other two beauties also agreed in unison. Yeah, we don't want money. You don't have to give us money. Then do you want to act? Not really. We didn't go to acting school, and we don't want to enter the entertainment industry. We only participated because... Bai Jingjing swallowed the words that were about to come out of her mouth. But what? Su Yu looked up and glanced at the woman. You just thought that Lady Su would choose a girlfriend for you, so? Su Yu, am never sure girlfriends. There are more than 300 actresses under Imperial Star, and I don't think they're bad. If I wanted to pick, I would have done it a long time ago. I can produce 3 actresses like Jian Tong in a year. As for you guys, I've given you the contract. Again, if you don't want to sign the contract, you can ask for other compensation. This is my assistant's contact number. You can tell him. After speaking, Su Yu got up and left. Lady Su was a bit angry. She chased after him and shouted in the hallway, Su Yu, stop right there. Lady Su loved her son very much, so she rarely called him by his full name. It was obvious how angry she was right now. When Su Yu heard his mother's voice, he stopped in his tracks. Tang Chuan had been following Su Yu closely. When he saw how angry his mother was, he also moved to the side and didn't dare to say anything. What do you mean by this? Explain to me. We were clearly choosing a girlfriend for you. You agreed to cooperate. How did you become a rookie? Lady Su suppressed her anger and questioned Su Yu. Chapter 1299. I didn't want to find a girlfriend to begin with. This is your idea, not mine. It's already good enough that I'm willing to cooperate. So you didn't think much of it, so I'm playing with those girls? Lady Su was furious. No, not only did you play with them, but you also played with me. Su Yu looked at his mother and enunciated each word clearly. Lady Su's face gradually darkened upon hearing this. Su Yu continued, I originally thought that you might choose someone with good looks for me, but I underestimated your ability. Look at those 3. They all look like Huamin. You really put in a lot of effort to find a few out of 20,000 people. But is there any point in doing this? Am I? So you reduced to this? I can't get the original, so I have to find a substitute? Don't you think that's sad? Mom, I'm doing this for your own good. Lady Su didn't expect to make Su Yu unhappy. She originally thought that Su Yu would be happy to see a woman who looked like Huamin and would fall in love with her. She didn't expect him to fly into a rage. No, you're not doing this for my own good. This is an insult to me. Mom, you're old. Don't worry about me. You should worry about your own life in your later years. I'm a disappointment. I've disappointed you. After speaking, Su Yu turned around and left. You. Lady Su called out with tears in her eyes. However, Su Yu still didn't look back. Everyone had different personalities. Hua Xiqian would be infatuated with a woman who looked like Huamin and couldn't help himself. However, Su Yu knew very well that there was only one Huamin in this world. He was unique and irreplaceable. If he couldn't get what he wanted, he would find an imposter to replace it. That would be the most ridiculous and stupid thing to do. That night, Su Yu didn't go home, nor did he go to the nightclub, nor did he go back to the company. He returned to his private villa. Tang Chuan was afraid that he would be in a bad mood, so he followed him. Su Yu was a nostalgic person. After selling the old villa, he renovated it. It was exactly the same as that one, and the decoration was in the style of an aquarium. The moment he entered, he felt as if he had entered an underwater world. All kinds of tropical fish swam overhead and around every day. There were even many details here that were exactly the same as that villa. Tang Chuan was really shocked. Su Yu had only moved into this new villa less than a week ago. It was also his first time here. I thought I walked into your previous home. Tang Chuan muttered to himself. Do you drink? So what if I don't drink? Get lost if you don't want to drink. I'll drink it then. Thus, Tang Chuan and Su Yu carried out 2 cartons of beer. Taking out some snacks from the fridge, the two of them drank until dawn. Su Yu's mood was unprecedentedly bad. It was really bad. The girl he liked told him to find a girlfriend. His mother told him to pick one. Was he, Su Yu, such a loser? Tang Chuan, tell me, do I have any hope of being with Huamin in this lifetime? Su Yu sat on the floor and leaned against the sofa. He looked at the little fish swimming around above his head and sighed. Are you telling the truth or lying? Tang Chuan seemed to still be clear-headed. Of course I'm telling the truth. If I'm lying, I'll say, you'll definitely have a chance, you can definitely do it. If I'm telling the truth, I'm afraid it'll be impossible. To be honest, looking at the current situation, even if Qin Shu dies, Huamin will probably be buried with him immediately. So, your chances are really slim. Do you know why I change women faster than I change clothes? I'm afraid that if I truly fall in love with someone, I'll be dead for sure. Love can really make a person wish he was dead. I'm really scared, so I'd rather not get married for the rest of my life. Although Tang Chuan didn't have the heart to say it, he still said it. So he didn't say anything. He held the beer and sighed softly. Actually, sometimes I think, even if I have to give up 10 years of my life, I want to be with her for a short period of time. Even if it's a short period of time, I want to live with her for a while. I want to see her smile every day, take care of her that way. Su Yu said what he wanted to say the most. He still wanted to be with Huamin. Even if only memories were left, he would be satisfied. So, do you want us to team up and try to make Qin Shu suffer? Then, Huamin might be pressured into coming to you for a while. However, the premise is that you, me, and Old Wei must all work together. Only then will we have a chance of beating GK to the brink. Tang Chuan gave the best idea. Chapter 1300. Good idea. Su Yu nodded his head repeatedly. Tang Chuan excitedly walked up to Su Yu. Hey, Lord Su, let me tell you the details. When the time comes, Before Tang Chuan could finish, Su Yu interrupted him, but that's too troublesome. Who knows how long it'll take? Why don't we ask my grandpa to send a secret agent down to assassinate Qin Shu and end everything once and for all? Su Yu said in all seriousness. That's not a bad idea, but killing someone is a bit. Tang Chuan seemed to have a lingering fear. You have 2 choices now. 1. Get out of my house immediately. 2. Get out of my house immediately. Tang Chuan was speechless. What kind of stupid idea is that? I, Su Yu, am a righteous man. Why would I need to resort to such despicable means? Huamin will look down on me. Even if I want to defeat Qin Shu, I won't use such despicable means. I'm worse than a woman. Do you think I'm Hua Xiqian? Su Yu was infuriated. Although Tang Chuan was doing it for his own good, what kind of stupid idea was that? How could he accept it? Moreover, compared to being with Huamin, he valued Huamin more than anything else. Therefore, he definitely wouldn't use any underhanded means to deal with Qin Shu. Business competition was also a good thing. Su didn't want to be looked down on by anyone, especially Huamin. Lord Su, please calm down. I was wrong. If that's the case, then why are you still so conflicted? Just fight Qin Shu fair and square. Even if you lose, you'll be fair and square. If you win, you'll just be lucky. Tang Chuan laughed. Su Yu was so angry that he immediately gave Tang Chuan a headshot. What a bad friend. Su Yu and Tang Chuan chatted and drank. That night, they drank all of Su Yu's beer. They even drank 2 bottles of good vintage red wine. The next day, Tang Chuan blacked out. He lost his memory. He couldn't remember what happened yesterday at all. On the other hand, Su Yu was so awesome that he woke up at 7 a.m. and drove to Imperial Star's headquarters for a morning meeting. This was the difference between an awesome person and a noob. Tang Chuan felt like he would never be able to reach Su Yu's level in his lifetime. Worship. When Su Yu walked out of the morning meeting, his assistant, Shaoan, walked over and reported, President Su, the top 3 beauties selected by Madam have contacted me separately. 2 of them said that they want 2 duplex apartments under Imperial Star Real Estate. Each one is worth more than 3 million yuan. Here you go. Su Yu was extremely generous. He always thought that anything that could be solved with money wasn't a problem at all. Su Yu's mother had tricked Su Yu and Su Yu, so it was only right for Su Yu to compensate her with a house. After all, Su Yu had passed all the difficulties and stood out from 20,000 people. As for what they looked like, Su Yu really couldn't remember. He had drunk too much last night. However, he knew that the 3 women all had one thing in common. They all looked like Huamin. This also showed that Lady Su really put a lot of thought into this. She was willing to go to this extent to please her son. And one of them said she wants a car. What car does she want? I'll buy it. Su Yu nodded. She wants your black Lamborghini 6th Element. Su Yu said with a trembling voice. Su Yu, on the other hand, was slightly surprised. His black 6th Element, which he had been driving for a long time, was a limited edition Lamborghini and was worth a lot of money. The most important thing was that Su Yu had feelings for Su Yu for several years. Tang Chuan wanted to buy it a few times, but Su Yu refused to sell it, let alone give it away. Who wants my car? Su Yu raised his head and looked at his assistant curiously. Chapter 1301. It's the champion, Miss by Jingjing. Oh, that white bone demon. Su Yu didn't remember anything else, but he remembered that this was the name of the white bone demon in Journey to the West, so it was especially easy to remember. And tell her that if the 6th element doesn't work, I can buy her a new Lamborghini. Okay, and nodded and left. Su Yu was puzzled. What was wrong with young girls these days? How could they ask for someone's favorite thing as soon as they opened their mouth? It seemed like only Huamin was the best. She never stole other people's favorite things. Thinking about Huamin, Su Yu's gaze became gentle again. Monday morning, the 4S store sent back the repaired Audi R8 yesterday. Huamin was as happy as a child. She touched the car on the left and right. She really loved this car. Even if she bought another one, she wouldn't be as happy. This was a gift from Qin Shu. It was also a car that both of them loved. Huamin and Qin Shu were both Audi fans, so they kept a low profile. Compared to Lamborghini, Maserati, and Porsche, this brand wasn't as ostentatious. After getting the car back, Huamin could drive to work by herself. After the morning meeting at the hospital, Huamin began to see patients. She saw more than 10 patients in one morning. She really went all out. At noon, she worked overtime until 12:30 p.m. to organize the patient's information. When she finished, the restaurant was already out of food. She was debating whether to eat bread or order takeout would be more comfortable. Just then, she saw Hua Xiqian walking over. He was holding a lunchbox in his hand. Workaholic, you don't have anything to eat, right? Hua Xiqian chuckled. How did you know? Hua Min stared at Hua Xiqian. She really didn't like how Hua Xiqian always acted like he knew everything. It made her feel very insecure. Your assistant said so. I haven't eaten yet either. I bought a lunchbox. Let's eat together? Hua Min wanted to refuse. Hua Xiqian continued. Why do you think the vegetarian dishes at Sufang Zhai are so delicious? It's vegetarian food, without any oil or meat, but it still tastes delicious. You bought food from Sufang Zhai. Hua Min swallowed his saliva. Yes. Then, let's eat together. Hua Mian surrendered without any backbone. Together with Hua Xiqian, they took the lunchbox to the office. Sufang Zhai had been open for many years, and it was a restaurant that specialized in vegetarian food. It would be full on the 1st and 15th day of the lunar month, as well as some Buddhist festivals, and people would have to line up because the vegetarian food was delicious. Sufang Zhai's name originated from a very popular TV series, Princess Pearl. At that time, Princess Pearl lived in a place called Sufang Zhai. Later, the restaurant copied the name Sufang Zhai, and it was really delicious. However, because it was located in a very remote location near Wanshou Temple in the northernmost part of the city, the road there was very difficult to walk on, and the air was poor. There was also black smoke from factories everywhere, so Hua Min rarely went there. She didn't expect Hua Xiqian to drive to such a place for takeout. The round trip would probably take 2 hours. That was why she said he was a pervert inside the office. Hua Min lowered his head and ate silently without saying anything. Hua Xiqian ate while occasionally looking at Hua Min. Every time he ate with Hua Min, he would feel unusually happy. Even if he didn't say anything, he wouldn't feel awkward. Other than Hua Min, no one else could give him a sense of security. The truth was, Hua Xiqian was someone who was even more insecure than Hua Min. Since he was young, he had to look at other people's faces, and he knew that nothing belonged to him. To his biological parents, he was already an outsider. To the Hua family, he was still an outsider. Therefore, his cautiousness when he was young trained him to be extremely shrewd and calm that didn't match his age. In terms of being calm in the face of danger, he was very similar to Hua Min. They were the kind of people who would remain calm even if Mount Tai collapsed in front of them. To put it bluntly, no matter what happened, he would always maintain a high level of arrogance. This was the aura of a king that most people didn't have. Hua Xiqian naturally removed the word sister, which actually made it easier to say. Yeah. Hua Min raised his head reflexively. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.